Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the post-episode issues, the Game of Thrones, Season 1, Episode 7, You Win or You Die. And we are back. It seems like forever since we've talked about Game of Thrones. Seems like forever since we talked about Game of Thrones. Sorry, I'm trying to get the music. It's been so long, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I came out here and I felt like completely distracted. I felt like I was going into the cold shakes the last couple of weeks, not talking about Game of Thrones. It was actually somewhat difficult going back to Season 1 and starting watching that again and then trying to even comprehend what was going on there. It's so good. Season 1 is so fucking good. I had to watch the whole season. I originally watched 7, and then I'm like, fuck this. I need to go back to 1 and watch 1 through 7 again. Really awesome, and we're here tonight to talk about this episode of Game of Thrones, You Win or You Die. But I'm not alone. I have with me tonight my friend Joe Dirty Locks and Katie Crow here. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hello there.
Doing very well. Brutally hot in my house.
Swampy.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the dead heat of the summer, which is really freaking awesome. Winter is not coming anytime, and I like it. And we'll talk about a lot tonight. We'll talk about some stuff going on with the channel and what's going on in the next couple of months as we get from we're in our off season, quote unquote, right now. And as we get to the end, but mainly we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones, You Win or You Die tonight, and more about Season 1. Did you guys have any problems getting back into Season 1, or was like putting on an old comfortable shoe?
Oh, it was old. It was comfortable. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we've watched Season 1. This is like our 6th or 7th time through it over the years. So
I still get emotional about it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yelling at the TV.
You gotta love it all. So
there was a couple of points where I got really emotional in this episode, and even in writing my recap, there were a couple of points where I just put my exclamation point on. I got to admit, I was wrong about this Littlefinger guy. I thought we could trust him. I thought he was a good guy, but at the end of this episode, he really surprised me. He just came out of nowhere, grabbing that dagger to Ned's throat. What is he doing? What the fuck?
He's a bad man.
He seems like he might be a bad man.
I don't know how you thought you could have trusted him, especially
nice,
after the way the episode starts.
He as much as slithers. I mean, my goodness.
No, he's
Snakes are fine unless
snake.
they're people.
No.
It seemed like he had a nice smile. It seemed like he had a very, very nice smile. I enjoyed talking to Littlefinger. He was good people. But everybody, we're not alone. We also have you guys in the chat room. Tim's here, Pulia's here, Critch is here. We got a couple of other people in the chat room right now. Thank you guys for joining us on this adventure, talking about this episode. And I know it's like 9 months away before new Game of Thrones. Comic-Con just happened, and there was really no big Game of Thrones information that came out of everything that happened. It was, but this episode also, we have to say, it's the goodbye to King Robert. It's no more King Robert.
Adios. Yeah,
Good.
no, I was very upset that they killed him off. It still upsets me to this.
Yep.
Mark Addy was one of the reasons why I say it all the time that I got HBO for this show.
He was a big draw.
5 years ago, so this is quite the upsetting thing for me.
Yes,
it still is.
It's sad to watch, and it's sad to think about. It's just sad. He's such a great actor. He's very missed. His comedic timing, that Robert laugh. It's just.
He just embodied the character so well.
More than almost anyone did. It's pretty sad about poor Robert. Sorry, I was stonking.
We should remove the pain and let me die.
Yeah, just let him die. Poor guy.
Hi, Robert.
Let me die.
I don't know. You got some important shit to say. Say it in front of all those fucking people.
Oh my goodness!
Don't be writing
Seriously.
it like, everybody get out of the room and let me say the most important shit of the day to this guy.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all of that and more, talking about where this guy that I thought might have a good head on his shoulders and was making some good decisions. Maybe he's injured. Maybe he's taken too much of the milk of the poppy, and his head's a little scatterbrained right now. Because I think Ned Stark, our hero here, has made a couple of really, really big mistakes.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know where this season is going, but I think Ned's made a big mistake, and I think we can look even in this episode at several decisions he could have made to to stop him from getting put into chains at the end of this episode. And I think eventually he should be able to leave. They're going to let him out. Cersei and Joffrey seem like they're only trying to prove a point here.
Ned Stark. Come on.
Well, did you see Joffrey's sweet face at his father's deathbed? He was distressed.
He was very distraught.
I'm sure
What's
he'll
gonna happen?
turn out to be a good king.
Yeah, he needs his dad. He needs his dad now more than ever. You know?
Yep.
He does.
Just like Jaime and Cersei.
They're
They need their daddy.
And Katie, that's
that guy.
great transition, Katie, because we open up in the intro to our episode with we hear the horn, we see Lannister soldiers, and we hear Jaime's voice, and we get our introduction to none other than Tywin. Yep.
He's so full of crap.
I mean, come on, yeah, right? His whole little speech here about Well,
Katie,
you were saying it earlier, Katie.
Yeah, he doesn't care about what people think of him. Bull.
Something clever. You're going to say something clever? Go on, say something clever.
Come on, Katie, say something clever. Go on, say something clever, bird. What are you going to say about Tywin?
Something clever for Tywin.
Something clever.
Yeah, in the whole scene, Tywin is skinning a stag, and I guess the actor really did this, but there is a little bit of a mistake in this scene where you can see the cut of the stag, like someone prepared it for him, but he's really doing it, and Jaime's sitting there watching, and you get that feeling, and Joe kind of just hinted at that. Jaime can't try dog shit one of that wise ass shit with Tywin. Tywin just owns him here and breaks him down and builds him up again. He uses him like silly putty here, basically.
Yep.
He's got nothing.
Weak, pathetic, silly putty.
There's only one person that can spar with Tywin in that family.
Included me.
But that's the thing. It's Tyrion, but he won't even let Tyrion step up to plate. You know, like Tyrion's the only one that can hit Tywin's curveball, but he won't even let him get into the batter box.
And I think that just makes Tywin hate him that much more. He's not supposed to be intelligent and clever and good at this crap. He's just the family black sheep.
Indeed.
The chat room says, Lola says, this scene is an absolute masterpiece. I just rewatched it recently, and wow, the symbolism in this scene went completely over my head. The acting is just simply amazing. Claudia
skinning
says,
of the stag right there. He's skinning a Baratheon right there on the table.
He's thinking of Robert
like
the whole
there's
time.
some symbolism right there, you know, like that's just one big piece of it all.
He's the pig.
Like,
Oh.
Claudia says, how many people can skin an animal and have a conversation with their son and manipulate their son and guilt trip / manipulate their son completely?
Like many people. Like skinning, even there's a lot of hunters out there and stuff like that, fishers that skin fish. It's not much different. It's just
but they set this up as a symbolism sandwich for the audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let's put it this way, for good or for bad, what's awesome about the TV show and what some people that don't like it as much is sometimes they put the symbolism right the fuck out there. And this is just Tywin ripping apart a fucking stag, having fun with it.
Well, it's important to mention that because a lot of people aren't going to see that, this is season 1, this is only episode 7. People aren't thinking in terms, Baratheon is the house, is their sigil is a stag.
Yeah, people aren't used to the sigils and the standards.
Right,
and
the Lannisters are the lion, the Starks are the wolf. They don't really get those connections at first.
And it's just horrifying to see the skinning and butchering of the stag if you're not used to that kind of thing.
Yep. So
I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, Crow. Crow loves the meat. So the scene starts up, and Jaime's reading a letter, the letter sent by Ned in the last episode. Summon the court to answer for the crimes of your bannermen, Gregor Clegane, the Mountain. You shall arrive within the fortnight or be branded an enemy of the crown. And Jaime goes, poor Ned Stark, brave man, terrible judgment. And you get the feeling right away just from the look on Jaime's face. And we talked about this a lot throughout season 1. And it's worth mentioning again here that I think Jaime, more than anything, Jaime in his own mind thinks of himself as an honorable person. So he wants Ned's acceptance in a weird way. He respects Ned Stark in a weird. I get this from Jaime Lannister anyway. Joe might feel differently because he hates Jaime so much, but I feel like Jaime really respects Ned Stark and wants to be thought of like as a man like that. Like, I'm just as honorable as Ned Stark. In his mind, he thinks that.
Ned Stark is the antithesis of the Lannister family way, and there is some good in Jaime, even though he acts as a Lannister does.
I don't think Jaime sees that in himself at all.
He wants to.
He wants to see it in himself, and he wants others to see it in him, but he doesn't see it. But he doesn't see it in himself. He knows he's the Kingslayer. He knows he just pushed a fucking boy out a window. He knows he's been screwing his sister and how much of a shame and embarrassment that's going to be. That's why it's a huge secret. He knows he fathered four bastard children, 3 bastard children. What is it? 3. You know, come on. Like, this is not a guy who knows that he's an honorable person. He's a guy who says, why doesn't anybody else see me as an honorable person? You know, they don't know these secrets about him, but what he did, how he helped his father fuck over his brother when they were younger. Like, there's a lot of things that Jaime Lannister has done that Jaime Lannister knows he has done. He knows he's not a good person. He knows he does bad shit, but nobody else does, so he wants people to think of him like he's Ned Stark. He helped protect the realm by slaying the king. People should overlook the fact that he broke that oath like the king overlooked it, because, you know, he helped save the king. Extenuating circumstances. The guy was fucking nuts.
He will never like himself or love himself just by virtue of the fact that he's a Lannister, and he knows the Lannisters are toxic.
Now, Lola says George R.R. Martin should write another book, How Shit Is Done in Westeros by Tywin Lannister. and then some people seem to come down on Jaime. Claudia says, I don't think Jaime is good at all here. Not yet. Claudia says he has no soul yet. Apulia says, yes, Jaime is horrid at this point. Okay, sorry, guys.
He's perhaps the most human character here.
And I gotta say, at any point
right now, it's Katie done right now. Of course.
Even when we look in the future, everybody's saying not yet, not now.
Okay.
For those who have seen the future, where we are at this point, there has been no singular nor multiple, like, you can't add up any amount of things that he has done, and there's certainly no singular thing.
We can't. I don't want to talk about this because we'll use. I'll end up using evidence of spoilers that are to come, and we're going to try. I meant to say this at the beginning. If you've never watched Game of Thrones past episode 7 at this point, we're going to try the best we can to be respectful of future spoilers. We're not perfect, but we're going to pretend we got in the DeLorean, got in Bill and Ted's phone booth, and traveled back at 88 miles per hour through the time circus, whatever, and we're going back and watching these episodes for the first time. That's what we're trying to do here, but we're not perfect, so tread lightly if you haven't if you haven't watched future events of Game of Thrones. But yeah, I was thinking of something Jaime has done, but we may get to that. Jaime might surprise you, Joe. So Tywin gets into it, says attacking. What was that, Katie?
No,
she said
cough.
Attacking him was stupid. He said. Tywin goes back, and just so much contempt while he just guts the beast while he's talking to Jaime. Attacking him was stupid. Lannisters don't act like fools. And then we see entrails falling on the ground, and then it goes into the whole the line that we played before. You got to say something clever here.
You're gonna say something clever.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Go on. Say something clever.
And then this is an interesting exchange. Jaime says, "Well, Catelyn Stark took my brother," and then Tywin goes, "Why is he still alive?" Like he cares, like he gives a shit. Because Jaime thinks he's talking about Tyrion at first. He goes, "Tyrion? You care about Tyrion living or dying?" And Tywin's like, "No, you idiot, Ned Stark."
Don't be an idiot.
One of our men interfered and speared him through the leg before I could finish him, and it wouldn't have been clean. And then Tywin just gets this look at his face, like, my sons. Why am I blessed? Why am I cursed with the dumbest ass kids in the planet? 2 dumbasses and a dwarf. What kind of dumb shit is this? Why is he still alive? It would have been clean. And Tywin, who never laughs, almost laughs here when he says the word clean. He's like, clean? You spend too much time worrying about what people think of you. Jamie
He
says,
should have walked over to him and bitch slapped him with bloody hands. Just right across the face.
to answer Lola's question, I've heard it is a real deer in my researching the episode. I guess he was working with a real skinner on set and was working for a couple of weeks before skinning animals for real. So I think it was real.
Yes, it was.
To answer your question there, and that Claudia says I thought it was a real deer. So he says, do you agree with what Tywin? Do you agree Tywin's assessment of Jamie here that he wants everyone else to think that he doesn't give a shit what they all think about it, but it really does bother him what everyone calls him? I mean, I guess essentially that's what we were saying before.
I think both of them are extremely insecure at their very core, and they care very much what other people think of them.
Katie, do you think Tywin's insecure?
Yes.
I think Tywin is. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I don't know if it's motivated by insecurity or motivated by extreme ego. I just don't know. It's a combination of both.
Extreme ego is usually a mask for extreme insecurity.
But with him, I'm not sure if it's a mask. I think he just might be that fucking pompous. I think some people are that pompous.
No, I think he's
what he's insecure about. Let me get my point out first. I think he's insecure about the fact that his father almost bankrupted his family and worrying about getting back to that point. I think Tywin within himself has a lot of confidence. I think his insecurity lies within the family name and the family name presenting. So I guess both of us are right, essentially. I think in my mind, because I think within Tywin, it's enormous ego, but he has this insecurity because of the fact that his family was almost wiped out because one dumbass almost destroyed the whole family.
He's confident of what his family and his family name is supposed to be. But he looks around him, and that does not exist in his world. His kids are idiots and dwarfs and incestuous.
His brother's an idiot. And
he's never achieved what he's really wanted to achieve.
Which is having a kid that he's not completely horrified by.
Yeah, well,
among other things.
He doesn't have an heir to Casterly Rock as far as he sees it.
Aerys screwed him on that one.
And you know, there's a limit to how much wealth they have.
The chat room is jumping on that Tywin is compensating for his daddy issues. Lois says, unsurprisingly, Tywin's dad was a very weak man who didn't even bother paying back when he owed debts. Maybe that's why Tywin became such a strict person when it comes to respect. And
fear.
And for all that
mistaken
gold that's
for respect
in Casterly Rock, how do you have debts when you're like the owners of the Westeros gold mines? Like, this shouldn't happen.
Joe,
you should have lots of gold.
Joe, could you do me a quick favor and just double check to make sure you're using your actual microphone, not the webcam mic? It sounds like you might be using the webcam mic. Just double check on that. But anyways, I suppose that the lion, Jamie eventually gets into the whole thing where I guess that I do think about the Kingslayer thing, and of course I think about what people say behind the back, and then Tywin goes into this whole thing about I could care less what anyone thinks about me. That's what you want people to think of. When you hear the whispering Kingslayer behind your back, does it bother you? Jamie says, of course it bothers me. And Tywin goes, well, a lion doesn't concern himself with the opinion of the sheep. And I suppose you should be...
Unless they're very rich, powerful sheep.
And really pompous, powerful sheep. Oh, awesome. That sounds better. I think you switched it around. I suppose I should be grateful that your vanity got in the way of your recklessness. And is that Tywin making a dig at Tyrion?
Yeah. So he's making a dig at all.
At everyone.
No, but he specifically says, I suppose I should be grateful that your vanity got in the way of your recklessness. Is that a personal dig at Tyrion right there? That Tyrion's reckless for getting himself captured here?
Perhaps. Could be. I didn't really think about that connection.
And Tim says, gold mines were not money yet, Joe. Tywin's looking for serial immortality if none of his kids are him, says Critch. Claudia says, everyone in the Game of Thrones has daddy issues. All the daddies in these shows are horrible.
Yep.
George, the real person with daddy issues is George Martin.
Yeah, or
One
Or-
would assume.
I guess from what I was reading, because I've been doing some research for a video I was doing, and George R. R. Martin said a lot of his inspiration for the series came from History of the War of the Roses and pet turtles that he had.
Turtles do lead very dramatic, exciting lives.
Yeah, he said from
Mm.
he didn't embellish that further, but he said it was the
Mm.
to do with turtles. And
the Morgs, the kunk. That's where the story of the turtles comes from.
so Tyrion is Jaime's vanity. All he does is that whole line, and then he says, "I'm giving you half our forces. You'll bring them to Catelyn, Stark's child, and home, and remind her that Lannisters pay their debts." And Jaime says, "I didn't realize you placed such a high value on my brother's life." And Tyrion said, Tywin says
What a
he's a
smart
Lannister.
boy.
He might be the lowest of the Lannisters, but he's one of us. And as long
hello, we care about what other people think. We have to do something about this. We can't let people think we're weak.
If you're wanting people to think or feel anything about you, you care about what they think and feel about you.
Yep.
That's just.
And Jaime, who
logic.
tries to wise-ass him, he tries to lawyer him here and goes, "Oh, whoa." So the lion does concern himself with the opinions of the and Tywin cuts his ass off. No, that's not a fucking opinion. It's a fact. Get inside your head. And Tywin he winds Jaime around his finger here. If another house can seize one of your own and hold him captive with impunity, we're no longer a house to be feared. Your mother's dead. Before long, I'll be dead. And your brother and sister, all of us dead. We'll be rotting in the ground. It's the family that lives on. That's all that lives on. Not your personal glory, not your fucking honor, but the family. Do you understand? As he just cuts. And then he gets this like weird bite. As he's broken him down, time to build up his ego now. You're blessed with abilities few men possess. You're best to belong to the most powerful family in the kingdom. You're blessed with youth. And what have you done with those blessings, huh? You've started glorified. And this is just an insult. You've been a glorified bodyguard for two kings, one a madman, the other a drunk. The madman, I'm pretty sure, Tywin, you worked for the madmen for many years yourself as hands the fucking king.
He was handed the king to him twice and to another king as well, I think, right?
Insight does not exist with this dude. He has absolutely no insight.
Claudia says, George, daddy issues. Good point. Lola says, want to know how to tear down your kid and bring him back up? Study this scene. Tywin was intimidating right at the beginning. Claudia says, what a dad. And Vaughn says, must be stressful as hell keeping up a constant image. Absolutely. It really is. The lie of it is hard. My grandfather used to say he didn't lie because he didn't have a good memory. You have to remember, and you just have to like constantly remember to put on that mask all the time. Critch says, also, you're in a position of power. You have to continue to be respected. Another word for fear in Tywin's mind.
Yep, he equates fear with respect.
Yep.
Insecure narcissism.
It's better to be loved or feared.
And what have you done with these blessings? He can only give him so much love, though. What have you done with these blessings? You've served a glorified bodyguard, two kings, a madman, and a drunk. And then the future of our family will be determined in these next few months. We could establish a dynasty that lasts thousands of years. We could collapse into nothing as the Targaryens did. I need you to become the man you've always meant to be. Not next year, not tomorrow, bitch. Fucking now. And Tywin.
I feel some hope for the Targaryens.
Yeah, they ain't gone yet.
Nope. But Tywin, this is Tywin's version of a pep talk manipulation, and this is our introduction to Tywin. I have to say, out of all of our new characters being introduced scenes, this is my favorite so far. Awesome. I love this introduction to Tywin. I love what Charles Dance brings to Tywin, and rereading and re-listening to the books on tape. As much as I enjoy the character of Tywin in the book context as well, Tywin he brings Tywin to alive in a way that can't be done on the page for me. He adds a different dimension to Tywin to me. This like extra schmarmy odor to him. I can't quite explain it. It's what Charles Dance brings to him.
He's very, very stern man. Like. Good job, good acting job. Well done to him.
Great.
You know?
They must have watched
immensely.
They must have watched The Golden Child and been like, we need to get this guy. We need to get Sado Numspa.
That's Tywin.
That's Tywin. Sado Numspa.
Numsi and Numsi.
My brother Numsi. We might need to do a recap of that movie just because Tywin's in it. That might be a holiday issue.
I want the knife. To give me the knife.
Yeah, we review this, we review that, we recap that, whatever. So okay, so we go from fucking one of the most amazing scenes. All right, let's get a couple comments.
You're gonna wipe that right there, right? You're just gonna wipe that on yourself like that.
Claudia says he's tearing down of Jamie is exactly why Jamie is the way he is, and will lose their fear in fear of you. Their hatred will compel them to tear you apart. Jailhouse diplomacy. Dragon, awesome. His character, no scene could have been better. I agree. Critch, another tragic case of someone causing what he seeks to avoid.
Yep, self-fulfilling fears.
And that's the thing. Whatever we want to say about, because this is speculation that's never actually talked about in the stories. Whatever, so it's something we can talk about without spoiling anything. Whatever we want to think about Tyrion's true parentage and where that kind of lays out. Tywin should have realized, dwarf or not, his best chance at someone replicating his mind, the only person in the room that could be on his level in a Trivial Pursuit of Westeros game, is Tyrion. When it really comes down to it,
talk about toughness, strength, iron will. Tyrion embodies that.
Tyrion is the strongest and the smartest Lannister. I do think he is smarter than his father. His father can't see past any of it. All his father can see is the circumstances of his birth,
his
and the dwarfism, right? And the dwarfism, all of it. He can't see past it. He can't see how he can be. Nobody else could respect him. So how is he supposed to be the one that carries on the family name if the rest of the world isn't going to respect him enough? If everybody that walks up to him feels like they can slice him in half.
If you could draw a picture of Tywin's worst fears of what his family name could become,
it's right.
Talk about the disfigured dwarf.
It's Tyrion.
In their world, that is a horrifying, monstrous thing, and he's looking at what he feels the Lannister name is becoming.
And I also take it a step further to say that with Jamie and Tyrion, in the sense that they both have a sense of humor. I mean, both of them do. But specifically, Tyrion has this sarcastic wit that Tywin has this disdain for laughter connected to his own personality.
Yeah, he has no joy.
It's connected to people laughing at his father and laughing at his family name and all of that. And there's a specific story I'm on right now that Tywin specifically, there's a reason why Tywin doesn't like laughing. Or with the whole Reigns of Castamere thing, with the people laughing at him and him just destroying two families because people laugh.
Yeah, but he doesn't care.
He doesn't give a shit. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't care what other people think. But no, he doesn't. So a couple more the comment section before we move on to the next scene. Vaughn, Jamie is that guy who looks for approval everywhere because he couldn't get it from Dad. SM down, welcome. Did you Sansa in a new Jean Grey X? Oh, yes, I did. And holy fucking shit. Big Kev, if you happen to listen to this, I didn't get a chance to give you a question. I was going to ask you if you could ask Sophia Turner to marry me. Dragon says, spoiler. Wrote dialogue in the book where Tywin's sister says that Tyrion was his father's son. Claudia says, what kind of dad? His kids had to be messed up. It's amazing Tyrion turned out so well, probably because he didn't get any attention from Tywin. That's an excellent point. Sam also says, Tywin is easily my top favorite character in the show, but I agree that Tyrion is the best Lannister of them all. And SM Down says, Cersei should be the nightmare that his family will become because she is stupid.
Yeah, but she's beautiful. So everything she does that's evil and stupid is okay. She's got good cheekbones is what it comes down to.
Yep. Hey, that's all it takes in life.
Image, not substance.
Okay.
Exactly what Tywin wants.
Should we move along to this dumbassery by Ned Stark here? Can we move on? Can we move on? It was dumbassery here. It's dumbassery in the book.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Robert sent everyone out of the room. No, you're having an important paper drawn up.
We're not, Katie.
A contract.
Katie, Katie.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You're jumping the gun. That's stupid number 2. This is stupid number 1.
Stupid number 1 first.
Actually, that might be stupid number 3. There's like several stupid Ned Stark moments. Let's start counting.
Stark moment. Yeah.
And especially in this episode, this is the episode could be called "You Win or You Die" or Ned Stark, You're Stupid. That's what. And I'm sorry to say that.
You win or you die, like Ned Stark. Oh my goodness, he's dying.
I like the Ned
increments.
Stark, You're Stupid.
He's already crippled, and then he just keeps crippling himself more and more and more.
And you would think
I hope he survives this season because I want more of him.
Me too. I hope because I want to see how he could react learning from some of these mistakes he makes, and he could play the game a little bit better. Because there were so many points in this episode where I just wanted to be like, Ned, come on, and there was like close decisions you can make, and then when he finally decides to do one thing that's slightly unhonorable, it's like the lamest thing in the world. It's like yes, I'm gonna go against my parents' wishes here, and I'm gonna go into the cookie jar and eat one of the sugar-free cookies. I'm gonna change this to air instead of. I'm so bad.
What?
Okay, let's get to this. Because we're jumping the gun a little bit here on the dumbassery of Ned Stark here. So Ned and Cersei are meeting to talk, and I know this is blasphemy to some people out there. I'm sorry. This is the dumbass Ned Stark episode. This episode specifically, and I'll go to say, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched past this, spoiler alert, that in the next couple of episodes, Ned Stark knows that he made so many fucking.
This is why honor is overrated.
Talk about learning the lesson the hard way.
If he could give any lesson to his kids after the lessons days, it's don't be a dumbass like me. So Ned and Cersei meet to talk because in the book it's a little bit more clear that Ned calls for her, sends a person to her, waits all day and all night, and she eventually shows up there. And this is right after he's recovering from his injury and he's figuring everything out. So it's a little bit more of a wait. It kind of just jumps to her showing up there. And it's an interesting visual of her walking up. And it's from Ned Stark's perspective, and you just see her, and she so innocently looks at him. Oh, you're in pain. And he goes, I've had worse, my lady. And then she's basically tells him straight out, perhaps it's time to go home, Ned. The South doesn't agree with you. And Ned doesn't waste any time. I know the truth that Jon Arryn died for. Cersei smiles like I didn't know why you called me here. Do you, Lord Stark? Is that why you called me to pose me fucking these riddles? Riddle me this, Ned man. And then Ned looks at the the punch on the face from the last episode, and that Robert hit her, and he goes, does he do this often? And he says, no, Jaime would have killed him. My brother's worth 1,000 of your friend, your brother or your lover. And bam, right away, what the fuck are you thinking saying to her that you know this? If you have aces in your hand and you don't go to the person, oh, golly gee, I got aces, Joe. You better stay in the hand. Fuck you, Ned. Hold it close to your fucking vest.
Yeah,
what are you? To quote the angry video game there, what are you thinking? What the fuck? Ned Stark. I'm sorry. I'm going to go on a fucking Joe rant about this dumbassery. Ned, you're a fucking moron. Stupid idiot. Don't disclose this shit. You know who you're dealing with here. It's not like you don't know that Cersei Lannister is a slimy ass motherfucker. You constantly, since day one, have been talking about how slimy this whole fucking family is. And you're so dumb. You're a fucking idiot. You just bring it to her like, here's a big fucking Twinkie. Eat this shit, Cersei Lannister. And don't throw it up on me because yellow dye number 5 makes me sick. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, anyway.
Lordy, Phil. I am so with you.
Good Lord.
Oh, God, Joe. Holy shit, I'm sorry.
That's a flare.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll shut up. Okay. So, Claudia says, Ned should have just said, wait, did I say that out loud? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, he completely, he was, this is what just happened. Big Kev, you'll agree. The flop just came down, and Ned Stark threw down his pocket aces and said, "Ha! I got 3 of a kind. I'm all in." Whoops.
Dumbassery. So, okay, it gets worse, though, here. It's because what the fuck was Ned thinking? Anyways, she goes on, the Targaryens wed bro. She doesn't deny it. She just confidently, smugly looks at them. They've been wedded brothers and sisters for 300 years to keep their bloodlines pure. Jaime and I are more than brother and sister. We shared a womb. We came into this world together. We belong together. And then Ned, like he didn't figure out this part before.
You hear that? Hear that? All you twins out there.
It's
Cersei
pure-
Lannister says you belong
if you guys
together.
If you guys
forever.
happen to be watching this, did you hear that, Vince and Brienne?
Brenton Todd.
Todd, did you hear that, guys? Did you hear that?
If you share the room, then
Wonderful.
Oh,
got it.
Al Craig, did you hear that? Did you hear it?
Oh,
Oh
God.
no.
Yeah, sorry, Steel Sabus turned in at the exact time that I started going on my rage and Ned Stark.
Oh, thank God you had it.
Welcome.
Gosh, Ned Stark defenders, stay away here.
This is singularly the biggest moment of fuck-upitude for
No.
Ned Stark.
No, I take you one further,
debatably.
Joe. I take
No.
it one. Okay, we'll hold on that, but I might raise you later. I might raise you and not listening to Renly. I'll raise you not what he says in the throne room after in that point where he loudly says out loud that you're not the fucking king in front of the dumbass.
Oh,
But we're gonna get to all.
dude.
So when Ned says Ned eventually comes to my son saw you with him as a discovery, like he didn't realize it already. And her look is like, I don't give a fuck, but yeah. And then she turns around, you love your children with all of my heart, he says, no more than I love mine. And they're all Jamie's, Ned comes at her. Thank the gods. And I thought this was a really
Thank the gods.
in a rare event that Robert leave this horse for long enough to stumble drunk into my bed, I'd finish him off in other ways in the morning he doesn't remember. Ned says you always hated him. And she says, oh, we've got a telephone call here. Oh my gosh, let's take our something happened weird with our phone call. But please call back and either leave a message or call back, and we'll definitely open the phone lines at a later point in time. But if you're listening again, please give a call. I don't know what happened. It was like, oh, holy shit, I didn't know we could ring. And she says, hated him, I worshipped him. Every girl in the Seven Kingdoms dreamed of him, but he was mine by oath. And when I finally saw him on our wedding night in the Sept of Baelor, I thought this is the reason I'm going to read this whole monologue. I thought this was a really awesome monologue by her. And really, it almost tongue-tied at a certain point in time. Lean and fierce and black-haired, black-bearded, it was the happiest moment in my life. That night he crawled on top of me, stinking of wine, and did what... This is the line that's tongue-tied. And she delivers it fucking awesome.
I bet, yeah.
And he did what he did, what little he could do, and whispered in my ear, Lyanna, your sister was a corpse and I was a living girl and he loved her more than me. And I think Cersei is transferring all this anger onto
Reeked to wine. He probably reeked at two of the bridesmaids as well.
At least two.
At least. Oh, fucking at least. But yeah, caller, if you're still listening, definitely call back if you would like. If you would like. And so yes, the tone is just so evil and knowing. And your sister was a corpse, and he loved her more than me. And he just gives her that look, like, ugh. She gives him that look. So Ned says, mistake number 2: when the king returns from his hunt, I'll tell him the truth. You must be gone by then. Your children, I will not have their blood on my hands. Go as far away as you can with as many men as you can, because wherever you go, Robert's wrath will follow you. And I wrote in big letters here, does Ned really believe he's gonna win here? Isn't he wondering why she's so calm looking at him? He's a soldier with a soldier's mind. Wake the fuck up, Ned Stark. We got a caller.
He as much as wrote out her murder plan for her.
1 second, caller.
He's on a hunch. Take care of him.
Yeah, it's
Lots of
absolutely
sharp, stabby
ridiculous
stuff out
that
there.
it doesn't put him on edge that she is so calm.
1
and
second, caller.
expectant of this. It
Okay.
really is.
Welcome to the show. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. It's Justin Down, or Jay. I was just calling to say that the stupidest movie he made was not getting extra guards when he went to confront Cersei and Joffrey when he was going to show them that letter.
Yeah.
And,
He thought he had extra guards.
Robert's brother was right. Ned and Robert didn't care about True King when it mattered before about when the Mad King was going to be the king. It shouldn't have mattered when Stannis was going to be the king if he wasn't the right ruler.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Good point, SM.
It kind of did. And I want to point out that there is Targaryen blood in the Baratheon bloodline that goes way back. So part of it was if we kill all the Targaryens, the Baratheons are the rightful heirs as well because they actually have Targaryen blood in their line.
I think
so it would go to
they
them, and they're the closest. You know, it's well documented.
Yeah, look back in history of our world. There's lots of well-documented
Claims to this.
ancestries to royalty, and yeah.
But like Claudia says, do you really think she was leaving? And Sam says, is he going to tell Robert? What the hell are you telling Cersei about it? Yeah, exactly, Sam. If you're going to tell Robert, what the fuck? Are you really giving a shit about protecting her kids after she threw your kid out a window? Are you taking the high ground here, Ned Stark? No.
He doesn't know that she was the one that threw him out.
He just said it 2 seconds ago, Joe. He just said, my son saw you two, and he got. Is that why he said that earlier in the scene to her?
Yeah. He just figured that out.
Just said that to her. And now he gives a shit about her
kids. He's still expecting her to do the right thing.
Fuck Ned Stark here. He's a dumbass. Sorry, I love him so much. I think he's just so stupid in this episode. He's like almost like uncharacteristically stupid because there's like certain things that he, honorable or not, he's not an idiot. Usually.
Seriously. Yeah. These are huge,
really dumb moves
mistakes.
Or underestimate. Or underestimate.
This is where as far as Renly being right, and if Renly is right in that, if they didn't care about the order of succession, then what should it matter now? Well, then Renly, Ned Stark should be king, not you.
Yeah, I agree with that,
yes.
And I also think Renly lost. We're going to get to that scene because there was a moment in that interaction where I think Renly could have had Ned if he came at it with a different tack. I think it was because of the way that Renly phrased everything in that scene, made Ned's whole little honorable insides tingle in a bad direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't realize that he has what people aren't doing. Nobody's playing to Ned. Ned doesn't allow you to even play to his sense of honor. When people do, he gets a little disgusted by it. Like Jamie's tried to do it with a few people have tried to do it with him, and he's just like, oh, yeah.
I don't want to pretend
right.
honor.
I don't think there's any. I think one of Ned's flaws is being able to see through most. No, because he can't see through Peter Baelish's bullshit.
He does though. That's the fucked up thing. He just doesn't listen. It's like he sees what he needs to do, and Littlefinger kind of calls him out on this. Again, it's a scene of Deep Space Nine with Garrick and Captain Sisko, the pale moonlight. You know what you need me to do, Captain. Those words just stick in your tongue. Why did you ask me to help you? Because I can do the things that you can't do. Ned doesn't allow Littlefinger to do the things that he needs to do. I think that's another point. I think Littlefinger gives him an opportunity for him to help him out at a point in time here. And that's
I don't think Littlefinger would have done it. I don't think Littlefinger would have come through.
You don't think so? Even if he had if he had agreed to bow to Joffrey, I think Littlefinger would have been like, okay, I got Ned Stark to do something bad, and then he would have worked with him on whatever plan that they had later on to take Joffrey out.
He would. I think he had a plan to take out Ned Stark, or to take Ned Stark down, and Ned Stark didn't go along with it, and gave him an even better, quicker plan to do it. Because ultimately the result is the same, that family stays in power, only now Ned Stark is removed immediately.
I agree.
I think it was just like, Baelish was like, trying to steer Ned Stark into bowing, bending the knee, and just being complacent, and it was going to take care of him later because he has revenge in mind for the Stark family for what his brother did to him, also because he loves Catelyn, or loved her, and she spurned him.
And I just think it's the game of it. I think you just like the game of
the game, right? The thrill of it, of course.
So let's jump in the chat for a second here. Claudia says everyone keeps trying to give Ned advice, but he won't listen. Arg. Claudia says being honorable does not mean you have to be stupid. Steel Saber says all the characters have flaws. This is a major Stark flaw. You see it in all of his sons, and maybe in some ways in his daughters at crucial moments. Maybe not Sansa. Critch says if Renly didn't push himself as king at that moment, I think he would have been more willing to go with him. I agree with that. We'll talk about that more when we get that scene. I think if Renly had said, we need to get to Stannis, or we just need
to figure that out later.
Exactly. We'll figure that out later, but I agree that we should take the kids now and get them the hell out of the castle now. Sam says, yeah, I understand why he went, because he and Robert were close friends, almost like brothers, as Rob said multiple times. And we continue on here. You must be gone, your children, blah, blah, blah. So, and Cersei again calls, like, basically just says it to his face. And what about my wrath, Lord Stark? You should have taken the realm for yourself. Jamie told me about that day King's Landing fell. He was sitting in the Iron Throne. You made him give it up. All you need to do is climb the steps and sit down. Sad mistake, Lord Stark. And then we get into our big line of the episode. Where is that? Here it is. The line of the title of the episode.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, you die. There is
What do you think?
There is no middle ground. That's an interesting point that I want to make on at a different podcast. Maybe Ned for a second looks scared and confused. Like, maybe did I just do something wrong? No. I'm perfectly good. I got this for the most part. But this is the Game of
jumped up at the poker table, and declared what his hand was after the flop.
Yep.
That he got overexcited or something like. This was his biggest mistake.
The only thing I can think here is that maybe because she's a girl, he completely underestimates what power she might have to influence the things around her.
That's his misogynistic ways. It's the ways of the time, and I
it's
absolutely
the
think
great flaw in his honor armor.
I agree with that.
He doesn't see. I mean, he grudgingly lets Arya become who she's going to become, but still tries to push the girl stuff.
Claudia says, well, if we really want to get to the point fingers, if Ned wouldn't have started digging around, none of this would have happened if Catelyn got Ned to start after Bran was pushed.
Oh.
It's all Catelyn.
He just never should have went to King's Landing. He just should have been like, no, Robert, man. Please, get away from me, man.
But, okay, I want to make one point, and I don't want to talk too much about this because I want to do a separate podcast about this subject.
Ooh.
The first book of the series is called Game of Thrones, and it's all about when it comes down to this moment where Cersei says this is a line from the book. It continues on both. And the HBO decided to use this as the title for the entire series instead of calling it the Song of Ice and Fire. And I think that's an interesting thing when some people, not me, some people complain about certain aspects of the series and go, this isn't very Game of Thrones-like. This is, I don't care about the magic stuff. I love the King's Landing, the espionage, that's what Game of Thrones is. And I think HBO might have dug themselves, that might have been one of the, I'm not going to say a mistake, but it was an interesting choice to name the series this and not name the show A Song of Ice and Fire.
It would become a sticking point with people.
There are some people that constantly say, well, this is Game of Thrones. It should be this. But Game of Thrones is really that first book, and then Clash for Kings, Song of Swords. It goes on. And I'm not saying the name doesn't work for everything, but I think it's only one aspect of what the whole story is. And I don't know. It's an interesting subject of how they should have, if they were right, named the series. We'll talk more about that in a later.
Yeah, that's something that's definitely worthy of discussion.
Yeah, it's worthy of discussion. Because I've read, especially in this past season, when you heard in season 5, when you read a lot of some of the negative stuff that, I mean, I'll complain about Dorne. We complained a lot about Dorne, but there's a lot of unnecessary negativity that's based around, this wasn't very Game of Thrones like. This is.
Yeah, that's whatever. Get over it.
It's somewhat of a myopic.
Fuck yourself. In a hug. I'm going to give you a hug. Go fuck yourself. And it's a hugging fuck yourself.
Go hug yourself.
Yeah, go hug yourself. Yeah, go. That'll be our thing. Go hug yourself.
Go hug yourself.
Go hug yourself, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, I really think that it's still the season after season. It's still the Game of Thrones. We still have Khaleesi looking for her throne. There was still the King Beyond the Wall until recently.
Joe, I have no need for silly iron chairs and.
Yeah, it's still the Game of Thrones.
You mean thrones? Throne. I'm sorry, lands.
I can't get
the only seat Carl need his horse.
His horse. Rachel says, if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's my attitude. And I'm going to say it again.
If you don't like it, don't fucking read it. Watch it, you dirty bitch.
Go hug yourself.
Go fuck yourself, you son of a bitch.
Dorne was still Game of Thrones, like, even though it was poorly executed. Someone probably just started a war. Yeah, I actually like the Dorne stuff. Besides some of the Sand Snake stuff, I like anything that we got with Doran with
Yes.
for share there, and
Dr.
I want to get into more. Excuse me, and I didn't even mind some of the later Sand Snake stuff with the poisoning. I just think there were two horrible scenes with them. The attack, and, whatever. We don't have to talk about season 5 here. We're done. We're done talking about not done talking.
Yeah, season 1.
Yeah, we're only on season 1 here. Sorry about that, guys. Cut that. Reverse. Cut that from the podcast. So we can kind of yada this scene a little bit. We go into Littlefinger's whorehouse.
Oh, what a great scene.
Sorry.
One was for the kids.
We are in now we go to Littlefinger's whorehouse with Roz and another girl fucking. Yes, we are.
Yay, Roz.
I think
our panel that we did with Roz there.
Yeah, this might have been the scene that Joe asked her about. What was it like to film that scene with Lord Baelish? You know the one I'm talking about.
No, I think I asked her who did she want to have a scene with that she didn't.
Yeah. Critch says Dorne. What's Dorne? I never heard of such a place. No. I don't know.
Okay. I wish I was with you there.
I know people call this stuff sex position, and that's a big buzzword for these kind of scenes. But to me, this comes off more as just an evil monologue foreshadowing for what Littlefinger does later in the episode than anything. We don't really learn much other than we hear the story of what happened with Littlefinger, but we had kind of already heard it before from different people, but we hear it from his perspective.
His point of view.
But it's a lot.
We also get to see into just how. I mean, we get to see he's a pimp. He's trying to manipulate these women into being able to manipulate people.
He's a very strict and exacting pimp.
Yeah, like we see a lot into his character at this point. We see that he's not just like this guy working behind the scene. We see that he's not a nice man. We see that he's definitely not a nice man with this scene.
Critch says, the voice talking about the whorehouse is making me feel like Trant. Don't do that again.
It was a little creepy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. I'll never do that. Never do that.
Yeah, come on over here, little girl.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Hey, Crow, come sit on my shoulder.
Sorry, guys. Okay, no more of that. So yeah, we get Littlefinger's whorehouse, as someone said back when Sam said when whorehouse was in its prime functioning establishment. Yes, Kurt says, yes, this is a fine place. Fine place. So come on. So basically, Littlefinger's not happy with how Roz and girl number 2 are faking their orgasms. It's ridiculous.
Well, they sound ridiculous.
They sound ridiculous, and he calls them. Don't be ridiculous.
I don't know. I didn't see anything different. I liked it. Hey, Baelish, leave the room for a minute. I'll enjoy it.
but if we were voting, I would say I enjoyed the second one more than the first one.
They were both good enough for me. Hey.
Okay.
Ross makes a good guy.
Fair enough. Claudia says he was multitasking like Tywin was. He could give his life story and teach his girls how to fuck. Way to go.
Yeah.
Industrious
man.
Yeah, he is. He has skills. I think we have a voicemail. Let me play a voicemail.
Creepy skills.
1 second. Let's play this voicemail. This might be about I don't know. Not sure what this is about. Let's see.
Otherwise, Fire is too long. It doesn't roll off the tongue that well for a TV series. Game of Thrones is still the better title.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
I agree with you. I mean, like when it really comes down to it.
ASOFA.
What was that?
Like people it would break down to ASOFA.
You got to think about that a lot when it comes to TV series, when it comes to certain things that people's attention span's a lot shorter. You want to pop, all that sort of stuff. And I agree with you. When it really comes down to it, it's a tighter title. It works.
A Song of Ice and Fire is more obscure and poetic and symbolic. Game of Thrones gets right to the point. They all want the throne.
PD's live music says, "I really want to go hug yourself" T-shirt. We might have found our we might have found our official first T-shirt idea. Go fuck yourself. I mean, excuse me. Go hug yourself. Trademark. And so he has the second orgasm happen, sexy time in the background and he gets in this whole you're not
fooling Roz, be the man.
Yep, you're not fooling them. They just paid for you. They know what you are. They know it's all an act. Your job is to make them forget what they know. This takes time. You need to ease into it. Ease it, baby. As he gets closer, he's winning you over in spite of yourself. He's enjoyed his cock since he was old enough to play with it. Why shouldn't you? He knows better than other men. He's known deep down inside talking about himself. Now he has proof. He's so good. He's reaching something deep down inside you that you never even knew was there. Overcoming your very nature. And Roz gets turned on by this, and she goes, "Why don't you join us?" And he goes, "I'm saving myself for another."
Oh, she's just sucking up.
No, she doesn't.
I think she's a little turned on by this.
No. See, and there you go. She's doing her job, Phil. That's what she's supposed to be making you think, that she's turned on by this. Yeah. But she's not. She wants them to shut the fuck up so she can get on with their day. What better way to shut the fuck? I'll shut him up. I'll stick my pussy in his fucking mouth, and then he won't be able to tell me any more of these stupid fucking stories or give me instructions on how to get men off, which I've been doing for the last fucking 15 years since I was 12.
Yep, get him off and get this over with so I can go sleep.
Right, yeah, she's just trying to shut him up. Like, really, like, shut the fuck up, Baelish. I know how to fucking jam my fist up this girl's ass. I've been doing it for men for the last 6 months here.
My favorite point to bring up in this is I love when he gets all serious. Yes, I do believe my Lord's in love for many years, most of my life. And then he gets very serious and like almost poetic look in his eyes. And then he just says out of the corner of his mouth, "Play with her ass." And
yeah. Play with her ass. I kept saying it. How many times? For like 5 minutes straight, I'm like, "Play with her ass." Play with her ass.
So Joe, I knew this person. I was going to work the other day, and I really need to tell you about the play with her ass. I'm sorry, I was just trying to slip it in. So yeah, we were doing this thing the other day, play with her ass. So then I talked. He just keeps going with it. It's fucking great.
Please don't play with my ass.
I think there's already somebody, and there's not enough room for me in your ass right now, sweetie.
Oh,
that's right. No room for you.
Crow's ass is tight. Crow's ass is very tight.
Only one fist at a time.
So right as the orgasm happens, he says, "I've read all the stories. The hero never beats the villain in all the story. The hero always beats the villain in the stories." In the end, and then talking about the moment with we've already heard this from Catelyn's perspective, but we hear it now from his perspective, where he says she wouldn't even let him kill me. So he thinks of that as a big honor that, yeah, he was just a boy. Please don't hurt him. She gave him so he gave me this nice little scar to remember him by, and off they went. And Ross says, "Is he still married to him?" "Oh no, he got himself killed before the wedding," as he so happily smiles. But she ended up with his brother, an even more impressive specimen. She loves him, I'm afraid. And why wouldn't she? I mean, who could compare to him? He's just so good as the hoe comes. You know what I've learned losing that duel? I've learned I'll never win that way. That's their game, their rules. I'm not going to fight them. I'm going to fuck them. And that's what I know. That's what I am. And by only admitting what we are, we can get what we want. Now wash yourself, Crow. You're working tonight. Pete's live music says, "Joe, you're truly romantic." Oh, Kilana, woohoo! Thought they had took off to San Diego Comic-Con with no other videos posted before this one. How long you guys been on? We've been on about an hour or so, and we're only
we're on scene 4.
We're on scene 2, I think. I think this is scene 3. So a couple of these scenes we're gonna yada through a little bit. Kaylana says sex position at its finest. Yeah, this is one of the best sex position scenes that we have in the entire series. And it's a really interesting, I forgot to mention the line of the scene though. And
I thought we've covered this, Phil. Play with her ass. How many times are we gonna
What other line could there be?
The line where where Roz asks him, "What do you want, my lord?" And he says, "I want it all. Everything there is. Everything."
He just wants to burn it down to rule the ashes.
And I don't know if I'm sorry if this is a spoiler and we haven't got to that yet, but to that line about that Varys line, but I think this is the truest example of Varys being totally on point, knowing Littlefinger here, knowing that Littlefinger would burn it all down to rule the ashes. No, Littlefinger he's dangerous. He's already been put out there, and
those birds have flown.
Yes, Varys, those birds have fucking flown. Littlefinger is out there.
Well, please, how long does it take to get some more birds out there to get the word out? Just in case you fuck, send out some more birds. Why doesn't he go off on them? Like he just like, oh, okay, oh well, bye. Like send out some more fucking birds. You get more birds that fly over to Essos. Send the fucking birds. Don't make me cut off your.
If we could, Joe, if we could jump in the time machine for a second and go back to the future here and talk legitimately about like what the fuck Varys is doing here when it really comes down to it, I wonder because, okay, can we do this? Can we go back in the future? If you haven't watched past season 1, please pause right now. I'm giving you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the fuck was Varys doing here? Because is he counting on Jorah changing his mind? Because he would have killed Daenerys here, and isn't his goal to protect Targaryens?
Curious.
I just don't. I don't understand what exactly he was doing here.
I don't think he looked at Dany as a viable throne choice.
She's the only one left. Viserys is dead. He just died.
He did just die. Yes.
So you think?
But I don't.
She's just a little girl.
You think the little bird doesn't?
She's a girl.
Can't be a viable
she's
option.
not a viable option. She's
At that
a woman.
point, maybe.
She doesn't start to become a viable option until later in the series.
Yeah, she proved
But
herself.
but her son would be. But her son. But wait. But her son would be. Her son would be. Why would he want her son dead?
Her son would not necessarily be. Because her son is going to be a Khal up in the fucking grass.
We're in the future here. So Varys in season 5 said he has been a part of a Targaryen regime to bring the Targaryens back since Robert was a king. So he's been doing this since around this time. So has it all been for Viserys? Because Pagan doesn't exist in this world.
Well, and see, but that's just it. If we're going to talk about that, we have to talk about what's in the books because there's more than just one.
No, I'm talking about just the show universe. He says that. It's a conundrum. It was fucking with me while I was watching this. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Varys?
I just assumed he was referring to Varys. I mean, Viserys.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, he may not have known that Viserys ended up being a bratty ego.
Sam says, I'll jump in the chat room. At this time, he was pushing the kid brother and might have been thinking Dany's death would get Drogo moving. Perhaps, because the plan could have been at this point to get Drogo going and by killing Daenerys, Drogo would take Robert down, and then he could install anybody he wanted into that position. Sam says he also was supposedly the one who tipped off Jorah on each of the attempted killings, so they were able to flee hours beforehand, according to Tyrion, I think. So he's been protecting the Targaryens for a long time, and he sets in a scene. I guess I just don't know how. It's just an awful leap to hope that Jorah is going to change his mind or that Daenerys is going to be able to figure out. I guess he assumed that she wouldn't have drinking the wine. That maybe it was kind of a lame way to try to kill her, and someone would have tasted the wine before her, and it was
maybe he's still lying when he says that he's been trying to protect the Targaryens from the beginning.
That's another thing altogether, Katie. He might have another agenda altogether. Critch says there are two possibilities: either he's pushing the older brother, or he had plans to save her. I just thought it was an interesting thing. Let's hop back in the time machine and go back to not.
Or let me make this one point too.
No, please.
He's also in a public place around many people, where he has public opinions and public stance that he's already taken. So I think it would be very foolish of him to be like, I'll get right on that, sir, when he already pushed very hard to have this girl executed. So I think he has to make save face somehow.
Okay.
And not be a flip flopper or whatever. But still, where the fuck is Ned Stark putting his foot down? Like, sends more fucking birds, dude. Just send more fucking birds. If it's too late, it's too late. But if it's not too late, send the fucking birds, asshole.
Borrow some if you
Critch,
gotta.
Critch
Right,
says
you don't
maybe,
care.
Critch says maybe he was lying to Ned Stark. That would be a first. Kaylana says the early Varys trying to kill Dany for Robert should make season 6 Daenerys question his loyalty. Claudia says maybe it wasn't Varys that was trying to kill her. The only reason
He's got to be lying. He's got to be lying to Ned Stark, because here's the thing: if he's like, yeah, Ned Stark, I know you helped to slaughter their whole family, but I have an ultimate agenda here to bring them back to the throne. Yeah, don't worry, they won't seek revenge on your family, but it'll be a happier place overall when we're done. So I'll get those birds right on it.
Deal Saba says Tyrion was also said that Varys was also trying to survive while protecting them. Yeah, and also Varys has his agenda and has his plan, but survival is the number one thing. Well, the spider always wants to survive.
Trumps all.
Yeah, it's a spider will always climb up. Sam says that is also true. He is less outspoken than, let's say, Ned, and won't outwardly express unpopular opinions about the Targaryens in front of other people like Robert.
No.
So I guess that's a good place to leave that. That scene. Let's go to Winterfell with Theon and Osha.
Theon.
Oh, Theon. And I do want to mention something quickly about Osha, that George R.R. Martin has loved her performance on the show so much that he has said that in Winds of Winter, he's writing more stuff for her. It's the only thing he has changed because of the show and the books. He said, that's the only thing that's changed because I enjoy her performance so much. I'm writing more stuff for her. So that could could be a return of, I'm sorry. I almost spoiled the future. Oh, wait. So before we do that, we got to get back into the time machine and travel back 88 miles per hour back to 2011 when this. Oh, we're there. Okay. The time travel has happened. So, wow. So Theon's harassing Osha, talking down to her. He finally has someone to pick on that's lower than him at the totem pole. Is basically what it comes down to. Just like he picks on Jon Snow, he picking on her. You could call me a lord, where I'm from. We find a little bit more about the Iron Islands. That trust me, you've never heard where I'm from, my lord.
You're a lord without any.
I love
things.
She owns him here. She basically
so your
owns him.
father's the lord. No.
So what are you? What are you? You're nothing here. And you're a southerner, and then which eventually just leads into Theon trying to get little Theon out. And you want to lose this chain, baby? Right when Master Lewin enters in, is like, Theon Greyjoy, this lady's our guest. Get the fuck out of here, you. And she goes, I thought she was our prisoner. Are the two mutually exclusive in your experience? And Lewin turns to her. Lewin turns to her and says, chances are I won't be nearby the next time that happens. And she's like, listen, this boy ain't shit. You know what I'm used to? The boys I know could chew that kid up and pick their teeth with his bones.
Yep.
And he laughs. You can tell Lewin's really taken by her. And him being a Maester of the North, really, to be able to talk to a wildling and connect to her a little bit is really something you can tell he enjoys. And Maesters are such quest for knowledge that being able to talk to someone that actually lives beyond the wall, you could just see the look on his face talking to her. He's looking at her like she's a superhero in a way, like let me tell you. And Sam says this also true. Claudia says Theon looks so different at this time. So different at this time. Sam says, well, he still has all of his body parts. Yeah, he's looking good. Crick says, yeah, he fancies himself quite a coxman. Hope nothing happens to that self-esteem. Claudia also says, and he has dark hair and he has straight hair. Apparently, losing your way changes the DNA of your hair.
Well, things do affect the coloring and the hues in your hair. It happens.
Yeah, a little
stress.
Who knows? He may have lost some testosterone in the later years. Who knows? Sorry, travel back in time. Oh my God, we're going back to the future again. I'm sorry, everybody. This is too much fun to talk about this shit now. It's so hard to keep this. Oh, poor little Theon. Let's talk in code, Joe. Oh, poor little Theon gets exactly what he deserved. What a little son of a bitch. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. So
it could get. I think there's still some
redemption.
due owed.
He's just a boy.
Just a boy.
Aww.
I did-
Kind of rapey boy.
Just a little rapey. He's a little rapey. He's not very rapey. He's like
He's very rapey here. He would if
he
would
was
have
very-
definitely beat her around, maybe raped her.
She would have kicked his ass. Joe.
Well, he would have tried. He would have tried. Is what I'm saying.
He would have failed.
His intent would have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a telephone call coming in. Let's take a call. Let's take our call. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Theon was a dick at the beginning of the series. This is why I never feel sorry for him later. Like, seriously, even as Theon,
Preach, buddy.
he was like unredeemable of a person or whatever. He does. Theon deserves exactly what happened to Joffrey, and Joffrey deserves what happened to Theon. They should have switched places.
Ooh.
Hallelujah.
Ooh.
Yeah, no,
I like
I'm very happy with everything that is given to Theon. Theon is a dick right from the start. Right from look at episode 1. Like right from the start, he's a mouthy little fuckface towards Jon with the.
He's a dickbag in the books, Joe. He's a dickbag in the books too. He's a
dickbag. He's a dickbag, and everything that happens to him is rightfully fucking deserved.
Yep.
The kid is a fucking twat face.
Pete's live music says 2 words, guys: pork sausage. That's it.
Have you ever had our sausages?
You had our sausages? Claudia says
Have
being
you
a
ever had
little.
our sausages?
Claudia says being a little rapey is like being a little pregnant.
Exactly. Rapey is rapey.
You're right. I know. It's just in this world, I tend to agree with her that Theon is like pushy.
Oh, hey man, she didn't say no. I mean, I know there was a rag in her mouth, but hey.
I guess I just when I look
no.
on Theon, I think of a douchebag, but I don't think of him as someone that would actually legitimately rape someone. He would just be like, get all like, let me touch, and then she'd be
Really?
like, no, and he would
No,
back
he'd
off.
Really,
He'd rape.
like for all those people who have watched future seasons, think about the actions that he partook in, in season 2, which make you say, oh, he would do that, but he wouldn't.
I'm talking about him now,
rape.
Joe. I'm talking about him now.
Oh, well, he can't rape now.
No,
Yeah,
now in season
he's
1, Joe.
adopted.
Season
Yes,
1.
he would rape. He would rape. He would rape. Absolutely, he would rape. There's no doubt in my mind. If he thinks he could get away with it, or he would even like rape and bury a fucking body so that nobody
He's
would
just
fucking
been
know.
rape interrupted thus
Oh
far.
my
Yeah.
God. It's so fucking
But
hot.
he's
here. I'm sorry.
a raper.
Like he was
Right,
he was half a step away from raping Roz before she left.
We've got the 2 best comments of the night. Pete's live music says, "Go hug yourself, Theon," and Lola says, "Fucking Greyjoy." No, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be put in a position here where I'm defending douchebag here. Okay, I'm not. He's a fucking rapey shit stain, okay, I'm just saying. I think he's like, when it comes to fucking with Osha, I think I agree with what she says here. He's no threat to hurt her in any way. She would.
I agree. She's a much stronger.
She's not getting raped by anyone. She's fucking.
Yeah.
Not Theon, anyways. She's fucking killing Theon before he gets close enough to do that.
She's probably got like 6 blades stashed in all those rags too.
She's
Well,
killing.
she's
it.
not afraid to use her teeth.
Yeah, she
Pull a
would.
rip.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yes, pull a bobbin.
In fact, once she saw herself going to like about to be raped, she'd probably turn it to seduction and cut his whole fucking package off.
Yep. Use that chain. as
Wouldn't
the
that be
weapon
great?
it can be.
Wouldn't that be great if someone cut Theon's whole package off? I would fucking love that.
That would be great.
That
That's
would
a
be
little
great.
extreme.
That would be great.
I don't know if anyone would do such a
No,
thing.
no.
He deserves at least that much.
Who could be that sick?
Joffrey.
Who possibly?
Nobody. Okay, so he laughs a bit, and Lewin goes.
Rickon could be that sick.
Rickon's,
You know what's in that little
Rickon.
fuck.
Rickon's an asshole. Yeah, Rickon's an asshole. So why'd you come here?
Who's Rickon?
I don't know this
I'm
one.
learning more about Rickon now. Rickon's a little dickbag. So why'd you
Ooh.
come here?
He sounds
Didn't
fun.
mean to come here. She meant to go much further south, as far as south can go, before the long night comes. And Lewin goes, why? What are you afraid of? And she goes, there's things that sleep in the day and hunt at night. And he goes, owls and shadow cats? No, I'm not talking about owls and shadow cats, dumbass. The things, and Lewin knows what he's talking about. He talked to Old Nan too, which I also want to mention from rereading the books or re-getting into the books again. I do want to put one piece of information out there that's interesting about Old Nan, even though she's not in this episode. I forgot Old Nan was Hodor's mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
I forgot, or grandmother or mother, right?
Mother, I think.
I'm gonna say mother, but could be grandma. It doesn't matter.
Could be, yeah.
Well,
No.
Hodor and Old Nan are in the same family. Is basically just what I want to say. That I forgot about that, and it's just an interesting thing to bring up. And Lewin says the things that you speak of have been gone for thousands of years, and he says they wasn't gone, old man. They was sleeping. And they ain't sleeping no more as the crazy music kicks in and he gives this kind of like dubious look, but they're back.
Yeah.
And you guys in the chat are cracking me the fuck up right now. So we go to Sam and John on lookout on the watch, kind of at the top of the wall. And Sam says, or they're not on lookout yet, excuse me. They're just kind of hanging out at the top of the wall. Getting ready to take their vows. I have to say, rewatching this, going from season 5 to watching this, the weirdest thing was seeing Jon Snow and Sam. That was the weirdest visual for me because both of them look just much younger or just underdeveloped.
Soft looking.
They are soft looking. Sam has lost weight, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
Sam has lost weight, and Sam has gotten so much better in recent seasons. Sam was pissing me off a little bit in this episode.
They made him. I mean, he's soft in the books, but I thought they made him particularly extra soft in the show. And like I said, they took extra things, and he kind of hammed that up a little, the actor. But still, one of my favorite characters, book-wise and show-wise.
Okay, Rachel corrected us and said Old Nan was Hodor's great-grandmother. Thank you, Rachel.
Great-grandmother.
Thank you, Rachel.
Wow.
So, and Steel Saber says, what? I didn't know Hodor and Old Nan were related. Interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting to me. I was surprised. It's something that just...
Hodor's father is a giant, I believe. He's half giant. Hodor's half giant.
Or they think. There's like speculation about it. There's a story. Old Nan tells a story that it's... Exactly. Joe and I are re-listening to the audiobooks right now.
Otherwise, that's awful.
But Rachel, awesome. Thank you so much for that information, Rachel. Unhardened. You guys. Ada fan. Welcome, Ada fan. Sam says, I miss girls. You know, not even talking to them. Because I never talk to them. I just miss looking at them.
Yep.
Just seeing them. They're pretty.
Don't you? Oh, I forgot to play this for Theon. Wait.
Wench, aren't you?
Sorry, one more time.
You're an impudent little wench, aren't you?
Yes, you.
There's no,
You're
not like Moody magazine.
Yes, you should be grateful.
I suppose I should be grateful that your vanity got in the way of your reckless.
Different line. Sorry, guys.
You're a very lucky girl. Do you know that?
No, you're not a lucky girl.
Not right now. Not feeling lucky.
And so Sam misses girls, not even talking to them, just looking at them, hearing them giggle. Don't you miss girls? John doesn't say anything. Sam says, riders. John still doesn't say anything. John says, the horn. We have to blow the horn. Oh, no. Again, Sam continues. The horn. We have to blow the horn. Finally, John says one thing. Why is he alone? 1 blast for a ranger returning, 2 for wildlings, 3. And John says, there's no rider. So we see the horse ride down.
Riderless horse.
And John runs down, and we see it's Benjen's horse. We also see the old bear, Mormont, and he has a grim look, and he gives to John just this kind of like grim, longing look. And John kind of goes to it, and he goes, whoa, boy. And he goes, that's my uncle's Benjen's horse. Where the fuck's my uncle? So that's a quick touch of the wall. We go back to the wall a little bit.
Where is Benjen Stark?
The good question,
mystery.
Is a good fucking question. Good motherfucking question. So here we go. Renly comes into Ned in the hallway, who's just walking through with one of his men. And he says, Ned, it's Robert. We were hunting. So in the room, Robert's dying. And he's talking to Joffrey. He says, a bore. I should have spent more time with you, showing you how to be a man. I was never meant to be a father.
Not Daddy.
Now, Joe, get out of here. You don't want to see this. You don't want to see this. And Joffrey leaves like a pussy.
Father, get out of here. I love you.
He should have kicked a single
You're
fucking
gonna suck
soul
as
out
a
of the
king.
room. He should have said, "Oh man."
Let's play Robert here for a second here.
I was never meant to be a father.
Yeah, you were
Or
never
king.
or any of
Or,
it.
well,
Just a badass on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So Joffrey leaves because he's the fucking shithead. The Queen's also in there. Barristan's in there. Renly's in there. Ned's in there. Pyzel's there. And Robert just talks to Ned. He goes, Whoop, we got a call. Whoop. Whoa, holy shit, that scared me. Welcome back, buddy. How's it going? Welcome back.
There's nobody.
Hey,
Hey.
over or under on a 50% chance that we will never ever learn what happened to Benjamin Stark, and George R.R. Martin will never ever give us that answer within any of the next books or on the TV show.
I would say Benjen Stark. We are going to find out what happened to Benjen Stark. I would say
so.
I would say it's likely. It's likely. Joe?
coin flip. Here's the thing.
Come on, don't sit on that fucking fence. Make a decision.
I say it's 50-50 because people disappear.
Mhm.
People disappear in this world all the frickin' time. And like, hey, Benjen disappeared. I hope he makes us wonder forever what the fuck happened to Benjen.
Oh.
The fuck happened to Rickon?
If Rickon, we know what happened to Rickon, essentially.
Rickon.
I don't know this name.
Yeah, like people disappear, people go missing, and Benjen is a ranger of the Night's Watch, going north of the Wall, constantly on these missions and shit.
Oh.
There's so many dangers. There's the wildlings. There's Crassus Keep. There's the King of the North and all his wildlings. There's these White Watchers and whites
John,
and others.
I hope John
and
scanned the crowd at Heartholm.
yeah, bears and dire wolves and
Pete's live
like,
music.
come on.
Pete's live music. Are you talking about that video where they change all the dialogue of they do the vocal dubs on the Game of Thrones video? That was fucking hilarious. Look at the pretty buddy with a little butt. There's a video where they
The horrible lip reading.
yeah, the horrible lip reading Game of Thrones is fucking hilarious. If anyone hasn't seen that, I pause or come back. We'll still be here. Go watch that. It's really fucking funny. Ada says Benjen turned into a dragon. Come on, guys.
Oh.
That's
That
Iron
makes so
Throne.
much
Thank you so
sense.
much for sharing us as useful Iron Throne. And too much. So yeah, Robert continues. Too much wine.
Benjen found the North Grove and he rolled up some fucking snowbud, and he's getting down.
He's hanging out with the Foresters.
He's hanging out with the Foresters.
With the,
at the North
giants
Grove.
that are still left
Yep.
and hiding
Yep.
somewhere. All those giants.
The name of it is BLR, Bad Lip Reading. Yeah, check that out if you haven't. There's so many funny ones that they do. It's not just the Game of Thrones ones. The Game of Thrones ones are hilarious. There's tons of really fun ones. Sam says Benjen has been at the wall the entire time and just playing hide and seek with John and the
Literally, he goes like as often as possible. He goes and hides in the library. That's his thing.
So Robert goes, too much wine, missed my thrust. Ned looks at the wound, and Robert says it stinks like death. Don't think I can't smell it. Okay, Cersei gives this like cold ass look, pins on needle. I want to say that this scene right here, right now, is the most scared Cersei has ever been in her entire life, because she actually thinks Ned Stark is competent. She thinks now is the time to say something, Ned.
If anybody is going to do it, it would be Ned Stark.
And it would be now.
And because she can't see how idiotic this guy is.
She just doesn't. I don't think she understands. I think what it comes down to is the reason why she's actually scared that he might say something is I think in her mind she doesn't understand the concept of caring about somebody and wanting to protect their feelings. So to her, he's like, how could he not think about protecting himself right now? Now he sees that Ned, because in her mind, to skip ahead a little bit, she thought Robert was going to die. I don't think she expected Robert to come back and even be alive a little.
No, be able to talk at all.
And he should. This scene has that's mistake number 2 there, Ned. You should have fucking said something right here. this bitch been fucking her brother, man. Those kids aren't yours.
Yep. Right when
He
Joffrey
should have said it before he kicked everybody out, before Joffrey left the room.
Yeah,
He should have grabbed Joffrey by the face and been like, this little fuck is Jaime's kid, not yours.
Sam, are we actually going to be playing? Yes, we are. We've been putting it off a little bit because we got to figure out the logistics of it. But at this point, we're probably just going to wait for the whole game to come out and then play the whole entire game on the channel from beginning to end. But I play each chapter as they come out. I stream it on the channel the day it comes out. So whenever new chapters come out, if you want to watch the newest chapter, I'll stream it. But because of some problems with the YouTube videos, I couldn't save every video, as a couple people that were watching knew there were some technical difficulties in it. But Joe and I together at some point, that is happening.
Yes.
That is absolutely happening. Probably sometime in the fall.
My problem with that whole game is I get caught watching it, and I'm like, oh wait, I just missed choices because
it's like watching an episode. Absolutely. So Cersei said, Robert continues, I paid the bastard back, Ned. I drove my knife right through his brain. You asked him, did I do it? Ask him. I want the funeral feast to be the biggest kingdom's ever seen. I want everyone to taste the boar that got me. Now leave us, the lot of you. I need to talk to Ned. Wait a second. Ned, say something, goddammit. Or say something to Robert when you're alone with him. And
these people know nothing about contract law.
And again,
very upsetting.
Again, Cersei is like, Robert, my sweet, I don't want to leave, because she doesn't want to leave him and Ned alone, because Cersei again assumes that Ned Stark is competent, and that the minute that everyone leaves the room, he's at least going to tell Robert, so Robert can like say his last words can be kill Cersei and the kids, and just yell it from his bed. And Cersei thinks this shit's going down now. Shit's about to go down right now, and nope. Instead, Ned just goes, "You're damn fool," and Ned decides that the most honorable thing to do is write on the parchment that Robert has him write about becoming protector of the realm till Joffrey comes of age. That he'll write. He changes it to rightful heir. Oh, Ned, you're such a bad guy. You're changing it to rightful heir. Oh,
how's
really?
That sugar-free cookie, Ned.
Really going on a limb there. Holy shit. Fucking Ned. So Robert says, give it to the council after I'm dead. At least they'll say I did this one thing right. You rule. You'll hate it worse than I did. And the girl Daenerys, you were right. Littlefinger, Varys, my brother are all worthless. Yes, men. And no one to tell me no. Only you with the bro love. Look, only you. This guy love between two guys. Man love between two guys. Let Daenerys live. Stop it before it's too late. Ned says I will with confidence. Like, this is the Robert I knew. At least he was the Robert before he died. And my son, help him, Ned. Help him be better than me. I'll do everything I can to honor your memory. He says.
If I find him, I will.
And Robert laughs and says, my memory, King Robert Baratheon murdered by a pig. Give me something for the pain. I do want to mention, I forget who it was, but I want to say it was Pycelle in the books is in the room with him and Ned.
Someone should be, not him.
Someone is. I want to say, I just listened to this. I want to say that Pycelle was in the room actually writing this. Or not actually writing this, but someone else was in the room when witnessing this at the time, or Barristan might have been in the room or something. I think
the room emptied out. I think it was just the two of them.
Are you sure? You might be right, but I thought I remember being like a little surprised, like, oh wait, someone was in the room in the books, but anyways, someone can correct me. I think Rachel might be able to correct us in the chat right now. So we get bro love between two guys, and Ned limps out, and he says to Pycelle, "Give him the milk of the poppy," and Barristan says he was reeling from the wine. He commanded us to step aside, but I failed him. And Ned says, no man could have protected him from himself. Varys says, I wonder, Sir And then Varys immediately, I love Varys so fucking much. I can't say enough how much I love the spider, especially in this scene, to just like tickle the twine of Ned Stark here. I wonder, Sir Barristan, who could have given the king this wine? His squire from the king's own skin. A
Lannister?
A Lannister boy. What a dutiful boy to make sure his grace did not lack refreshment. And again, I do hope the poor lad does not blame himself as Ned just gives this look on his face like, Ned, like fucking cunt, fucking Cersei motherfucker.
Yep.
I'm screwed.
Yeah. And it was just the two of them in the books. Just read book one. Just the two. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry about that. And Ned is like, yeah, you fucking motherfucker here. And yes, his grace had a change of his heart concerning Daenerys Targaryen. Whatever arrangements you made, unmake them at once. And
sorry, those birds have already flown, my lord.
The whole milk thing makes me think of Michael Jackson. Is that weird? I don't. Oh yeah, maybe a little. So
yeah,
in the best way. Trust me, I'm pretty fucking weird too.
Good weird.
So Varys is just so sneaky. I love, as Claudia says, I love how Varys handles this whole situation, and I love him always playing the game. The way he slips it in there, and oh whoa, that's kind of dirty.
Yep.
Can't slip anything in anywhere, but.
Well, he uses his words.
Yeah. The real Peterman. Hey, real Peterman. The poor lad is enjoying the Lannisport swamp. So as we go on to our next scene, we have Dany and Drogo talking in Dothraki. The stallion that mounts the world needs no chairs. She says, well, it's prophesied that he'll conquer all the ends of the earth, and Drogo's like, the earth ends at the end of the Salt Sea. And then she goes, no, there's many dirts beyond the sea. And Drogo goes, yes, no, not dirts, lands.
She's so cute.
And then they get into a big talk about the Dothraki crossing the sea, and which leads up to him basically saying, speak no more of wooden horses and silly chairs. No, not chairs, thrones. And he says, Joe said this line earlier in the episode, a king does not need a throne, just a horse to ride. Dany looks sad, and I guess she's starting to realize, and again, to get inside Daenerys' head a little bit in the books here, around this period of time, she's starting to think that this might just be my life. My life might just be as Khal Drogo's wife, and that's okay. But I'm a little disappointed because I want to go home, but I don't.
That's what's been grilled in her head her whole life from her brother.
Yeah.
And now she kind of feels like, oh, is that my destiny because he's gone?
Well, she wants to honor her family and their history and what's rightfully theirs, too.
Yeah.
I think it's very disappointing for her that she may not be able to go that far in this world, that this may be it, even though she loves where she is.
So it ends up to a scene where she's talking to Jorah heading towards the market, and she's asking him, can you help me make him understand? Jorah says, the Dothraki do things in their own time for their own reasons. Have patience, Khaleesi. We will go home, I promise you. She gets into this whole thing. My brother was a fool, I know, but he was the rightful heir to the Seven Kingdoms. As Jorah laughs. Have I said something funny, sir? Forgive me, Khaleesi, but your ancestor Aegon the Conqueror didn't seize 6 of the 7 kingdoms because they were his right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He had
did
no
it because he had 3 dragons.
Yep, and Jorah's very much the cynic here. Having a few dragons makes things easier. And Dany goes, you don't believe it? And he goes, have you ever seen a dragon, Khaleesi? I believe what my eyes and ears report, as this dates back to season 5 stuff here to make a quick reference to that. As for the rest, it was 300 years ago. Who knows what really happened? So he says goodbye. He goes, now, if you pardon me, I'm going to seek out the merchant captain to see if it has any letters for me. And she goes, I'll come with you. And he goes, no, don't trouble yourself. Go enjoy the market and die. So I guess he knows at this point that this is an assassination attempt, or do you think he realizes it when he gets the letter?
I think he has his suspicions, and he realizes it when he gets the letter, and that guy shows special attention to Daenerys.
So here we go into a moment that makes me think another character in the Game of Thrones game is definitely one of the Spiders people, the little kid, Jorah the Andal, one of his little birds. The spider sends his greetings and his congratulations, a royal pardon. You can go home now. Jorah looks majorly conflicted. He obviously wants to go home, but he's in his own way an honorable guy, and
he loves Dany.
He loves Dany.
Aww.
Neither is Sam says neither. Is there a word in Dothraki for go hug yourself? There's no, Steel Saber says Chandler Riggs live stream under the tag handler Chair Handler playing League of Legends right now. If anyone cares, just got the message in my email. I know it's the wrong show, but no, don't worry about that. Varys was so cool before Tyrion Varys, in my opinion. Sam says, and by the way, that wasn't directed at anyone in the chat. I just love the phrase. Yeah, of course. Of course. I think I'm starting to love the go hug yourself now. I do think that might end up being our first t-shirt idea. If when we get to that point of making some t-shirts. So maybe we'll do some make a couple of t-shirts and do them as giveaways at the beginning of next Game of Thrones. So Dany and her crew, I'd love to do some Game of Thrones trivia, but that's beside the point. Different podcast. So Dany and her crew are walking past the merchant of that's serving wine, and Jorah's watching from a distance. And she understands what he's saying and kind of speaks to him in the common tongue and says, "My son already has his name, but I'll try some of your summer wine." And he tries to get her. I mean, we can yada this. It's a whole big back and forth. He tries to give her the wine that's poison. Jorah comes out of nowhere and goes, "Wait a second," and
it gives her a whole cask of poison wine. That's going to kill a lot of people.
Yep, make a good point.
Pete's Live Music says maybe the shirt to say "Go fuck yourself" on one side, "Go hug yourself" on the other. I like that. We'll talk about that. We'll bring you in the conversation. I like where your mind's at. So he comes over and he goes, "Break open the wine now." And he goes, "Oh no, we gotta let it breathe. And the wine's for the Khaleesi, not the likes of you, buddy." And he goes, "No, pour." As Daenerys starts to figure it out. And she goes, "No, you will drink it." And I'd be an idiot for drinking my own wares. No, you just gave me this. Drink it. And run away. This guy gets a look on his face like I got when my principal found the dime bag in my pocket when I was in high school and about to be expelled, and I couldn't do anything about it. Like, my reaction was, "Fuck shit, cocksucker, motherfucking dick shit, fucking asshole, you're a cocksucking prick. I'm expelled anyway, right? Fuck yourself. Go eat a dick." Peter Ballsack.
The right response.
That was my response. This guy kind of has a similar response where he just like throws something at some guy's face and starts running. He's just like, ah.
There's nothing else he can do. He's fucked.
Yes, and then we see some actual. He's fucked. And we actually see some good whip skills here in this scene, unlike some future scenes that we see. And he gets caught with a whip as he's trying to run away.
Nice whip skills, yeah.
Adafan says, hopefully if one person drank the poison and died, I hope others don't drink it. Yeah, hopefully. But as we've seen for certain things, what if it's a toast and everyone drinks at the same time?
Someone who wasn't paying attention, like who was just one of the servants that was just kind of standing in the background, like staring off at some trinket that they wanted.
Oh, they dropped their cat.
Oh, look, they just dropped. I'm taking that shit. Oh, like all the other wine that's at that guy's trailer there. Like, aren't you taking all of that?
Or they look at everyone dead on the floor and they go, "Wow, that's strong wine. Everyone's passed out. I want to get some of that."
Let me get a glass.
Yeah, that's some sick shit. So we get into our Night's Watch stuff, and just for the record, I'm going to read all of this because it's relevant to future events. So, but before we have Joe, you came to us as. What did they come to us as? Outlaws, poachers, rifers, killers, thieves.
Murderer, thief, raper, murderer.
Nice dig at season 5 there, Phil. Yeah, nice unsubtle dig at season 5 by me with the whip skills. It was good. I mean, it's not like they haven't done whip stuff that made sense before. They could, whatever. sorry guys for the sand snake burns. So
they're right. They're deserved. Come on, they're deserved.
So you came here alone in chains without friends that honor. Some of you bear the names of proud houses, others bear bastard names. No name is all. It doesn't fucking matter. All of that's in the past. Here in the Wall, we're all one house tonight. And Sam turns to John and says, "You're allowed to look happy. You're going to be a ranger. Isn't that what you always wanted to be?" John's like, "Robert, grumble, grumble. I'm a Stark. I'm not happy. I want to find my uncle. I know he's alive. I wish I could help you But I'm no ranger. It's the Stewart's life for me. There's no...
The Starks definitely have some seasonal affective disorder going on.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of them do. And there's honor in being a Stewart. Not much really, but there's food. Sam, and what's interesting here is that I pointed out, Sam has a longing smile at John for a little while. Like you can tell that Sam is so fucking happy to have a friend. Like he is glowing that he has a friend.
This is the first person that's ever been his friend. Nobody's ever been his friend. His best friend was his mother back home.
Yeah.
Critch says rapers, murderers, thieves, rapers, stupid bastards. Oh, sorry, John. Sorry, not you. We met you as the high boy.
I usually throw bastards into the speech, but
so basically they get into you guys will never be kings, but there's honor in this house. There's no glory or women's love, but you're fighting for the realm. You've all learned the words. You've all learned the words of the vows, and as Thorne comes out at this point and starts giving everyone the stink eye, Mormont continues, think carefully before you say them. The penalty for desertion is death. You can take your vows by sunset. He asks if anyone wants to go with the old gods. John speaks up, and Sam goes, can I go with the old gods too? And he says, no, I was named in the light of the seven. And Thorne goes, why would you? Your father's nice.
They're not my gods. My gods sent me to the fucking wall.
Treated me well. Yeah.
And then they get into the whole thing where John eventually gets said that John's going to the Stewarts, and it's a big tense. And John
he gets
bratty.
What am I gonna service you?
And insults all of the stewards after telling Sam that it's an honorable job.
It's not fair. It's not fair. I was told I'd be a ranger.
Claudia says there's another T-shirt. There should be a T-shirt that says, I'm not happy, I'm a Stark.
We don't do that.
Adafan says...
Definitely don't do happy in the Stark family.
Adafan said, Sam might have been wanting to be a wizard, but Adafan always wanted to be a Power Ranger. And Tim says, well, there's sandwiches in being a Stewart.
Yeah, sandwiches.
Okay, so they break it off here after, and Samwell, and we go to Aemon, and Samwell says, he goes, Samwell, you will assist me with the rookery. Pip, you'll report to Bowen Marsh in the kitchen. Yes, Bowen Marsh exists. Luke, you'll report to One-Eyed Jark in the stables. Darian, we're sending you to Eastwatch by the Bay. Present yourself to Borkus, and when you arrive, make no comment about his nose. I want to know what this guy's nose looks like. Jon Snow. Curious. Jon Snow, Lord Commander Mormont has requested you for his personal steward, and Jon just said, so much disdain. Will I serve the Lord the commander his meals and fetch his fucking hot water? And what
change
I love,
his bed sheets and his diapers.
He gets bratty with Maester Aemon.
And Maester Aemon says, yes, you will, and you'll empty his bedchamber, and you'll jerk him off, and you'll reach him around, and you will wipe his ass, and you will love it just like every other steward has done since the beginning of stewarddom. And when you're done with that, you will meet Sam and I in the library, and you will row the boat all the way down the wall.
More or less, Aemon just fucking owns him. And Jon Snow keeps being such a whiny bitch. He goes, do you take me for a servant? And he goes, no, bitch. I take you for a member of the Night's Watch, but perhaps I was fucking wrong. Get the hell out of here. Yeah. And this is where Pip and Sam run after him. And Jon's like, don't you see what they're doing? I see Sir Alistair's revenge. He won, he got it. Stewards are nothing but maids. I'm a better swordsman and rider than any of you. It's not fair. And Pip says, fair? I was singing, this is my favorite line in the episode.
Yeah,
he says,
my favorite line is coming up too.
I forgot about this.
I was singing for a High Lord at Acorn Hall when he put his hand on my leg and he wanted to see my cock. I pushed him away and he said, you'd have my hands cut off for stealing their silver. So now I'm here at the end of the world with no one to sing for but old men and little shits like you. I'll never see my family again. I'll never be inside a woman again.
What are you talking about?
I
thought you got pinched for stealing silverware.
No, Joe, you think I'm going to tell a bunch of strangers that a High Lord tried to grab my cock?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Will you sing for me sometime?
Sing me a song, Pip.
It's right there. It's right there. It's right there out of the blue next to, like, Play with the Rash. Just all of a sudden, Sam turns into like Marsha Brady or something.
I'd
It's
love
like,
to hear
oh.
a song.
singing. Yeah, let's do that instead of talking about
When
John.
it's time to change, you've got to rearrange. Yeah, it was totally a Martha.
Sing me a song, George. Sing me a song.
Tell me about the Wabbits.
Will you
So
play
I-
with my cock too?
I almost thought it was a moment to set just to get him away. So Sam's talking to him now alone, and he says, now listen to me. The old man is the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. You'll be with him day and night. And this is a little preview of what's to come with Sam in future seasons, I think. Really, too. This is when Sam actually reminded me of the Sam we know here in season 5. He goes, you'll be with him day and night. You'll clean his clothes, but you'll also take his letters, attend his meetings, squire from him battle. You'll know he's grooming you for fucking battle, you idiot, as John's realizing.
Oh.
I just
Yeah,
always
he's a
wanted to be
smart boy.
I always wanted to be a ranger, and Sam goes, I always wanted to be a wizard, which actually gets Stark to laugh. He goes,
Yeah.
what? I'm serious. And I just want to point out,
No, wizards are
relate to
awesome.
this.
Foreshadow, maybe.
Foreshadow.
Maybe he
Like-
becomes a wizard.
when I did theater and stuff, I went into theater and I was like, I want to act. Yeah. I'm going to be an actor. And then when I actually did it, I realized I fucking sucked. But I was pretty good at directing. And I was good at doing that, but I was like, I don't want to direct. I'm an actor. And it took me a while to realize when someone's like, no, you're actually pretty good to like do that. That's better. And it's like, a bad example, but
No, it's very appropriate.
similar kind of thing. So Sam says, I'm married for
Those
love.
who love do, those who can't do teach.
Ada says, if there's a cock merchant, is there a vag merchant too?
Mm.
Very
Of course there is.
Well,
Of course there is. What you need, guy? I
there
got it.
is
I know a
female
guy.
circumcision.
Yeah, I know. I can get you a vagina in an hour. Joe, I can get you a vagina in an hour. You don't want to know.
When do you need it?
Yeah, you don't want to know.
it on ice, or can I just? How do you want? I know a guy.
You guys are cracking me up right now. Okay, so then we get into what? Ned Stark mistake number 3 here. We get to Renly meeting Ned Stark in the hallway. And he says, Lord Stark, a moment, alone, if you will, as he sends everyone away. He goes, so Robert named you Protector of the Realm. Is Robert still alive in this point? And he says, listen, she's not going to care. Give me an
How does everybody
hour.
know this? Who's he told?
What was that?
Well, Ned was supposed to give that piece of paper
I think-
To the small council after he's dead. He
I
hasn't
think-
quite
Oh,
picked
right.
it
After.
yet.
I think good
thought you said-
question. Good question, Joe. But I'm assuming that Renly knows his brother enough to know that that's something Robert would do.
Well, maybe Robert's still talking a little in a milk of puppy haze.
And again, that's an interesting thing to point out again from the books in the sense that Robert doesn't die quite as fast in the books. He lingers for a little while, and
Yeah.
Renly spends a lot more time. Renly in the books really thinks that some foul play was at stake here. Renly's a little bit more than just a little bit of I'm king, make me king here, blah blah blah. There's a little bit more to
Oh,
Renly.
no, he definitely feels that his brother was murdered on
Right.
this undone.
Yeah, he knows Cersei can't be trusted. Certainly.
Vag merchant, that's Cersei, says Tim.
Yeah.
And Steel Saber says, Tim, I thought that was Littlefinger. Shame, 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 ding, 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 shame, finger. So Lord Stark, alone, if you will, he named you Protector of the Realm. He did. She won't care. Give me an hour, and I can put 100 swords in your command. Why didn't he take them? Okay, this is where I think, and someone said this in the chat earlier, I think if Renly played his cards a little bit differently here, he could have
He should
gotten
have
Ned.
never mentioned himself being king.
No.
He should have just offered the 100 swords and had.
And I wrote that in the
king
notes.
out.
There's a certain point where Ned checks out on this conversation. Once he starts
yeah,
bashing
he shuts it
Stannis,
down.
he immediately checks out in this
Well,
conversation.
He did the same thing Renly does the same thing Ned does. Again, he sees the flop, and he sees the good flop, and he's like, ooh, I got 4 cards to a flush. I'm all in. Like
I almost won my hand.
Right.
Pete says I heard this guy's brother was born of salt and smoke. So So he says we must get Joffrey away from his mother and into our custody. Protector of the realm and know who holds the king holds the kingdom. Every moment you delay gives Cersei another moment to prepare. By the time Robert dies, it'll be too late for us. And then here he goes into what about Stannis? Saving the Seven Kingdoms from Cersei and delivering the Stannis, you have odd notions about protecting the realm. Stannis is your older brother. And this is right where Ned checks out of this conversation.
Yep.
This isn't about a bloody line of succession. That didn't matter when you rebelled against the Mad King. It shouldn't matter now. What's best for the kingdoms? What's best for the people we rule? We all know what Stannis is. He inspires no love, no loyalty. He's not a king. I am. Ned is completely lost at this point. Ned is almost like, what the fuck? He looks at this.
He wants to smack him.
Renly.
He looks at him as a brother, like a little brother, a little dumbass brother. What was that, Katie?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Renly should have known. He knows what Ned is like. He should have known not to go that far with this.
He's talking to his brother, for Christ's sake. He's basically talking to a carbon copy of Stannis, as far as most of this shit is concerned.
With heart.
Right.
Yeah.
With a little more heart.
Stannis with heart.
So, like...
Too much heart, perhaps.
Very foolish, Renly. Very foolish.
Steel Saber says, some random person on the bus actually had the shame, ding, ding, ding as their ringtone the other day. Oh my God, I couldn't handle it.
Nice.
That's hilarious. That's really funny. So
I
Ned's...
don't know what that is.
The shame from the fucking, from the Cersei in season 5. Shame.
Oh, right.
Shame.
Shame.
You can shame, ding, ding me.
I know that's different.
So Steel Saber says she made a fool of herself laughing out loud. I don't think many people got it. How Adafan says, how shameful. I like that. I like that. That was a good one. So Ned Stark is like, listen, dude, Stannis is a commander. He's led men into war twice. He destroyed the Greyjoy fleet. He's a good soldier, Renly says. Everyone knows that. So is Robert. Tell me something. Do you still believe good soldiers make good kings? And Ned says the dumbest thing Ned Stark's ever said. I will not dishonor Robert's last hours by shedding blood and having his halls dragged with frightened children and kids from their beds. 1 second here. Fucking dumbassery, Ned. So instead you'll soil his last hours by letting his life be a lie and not tell him the truth and let him die, completely thinking that these people are his kids, that these Lannisters completely fucked him. You're not going to give him a sense of absolute.
He was not a good friend to Robert.
You know Robert well enough to know that he would absolutely, his dying wish would be to know the truth and have all these people killed.
Yep.
Fuck you, Ned. You're denied because of your own personal biases. This isn't to honor Robert's memory. It's to honor your fucking bullshit you have about killing kids.
His squeamishness.
Your squeamishness. Not that I condone killing kids, but at least take it.
He's not even. It's not even. He doesn't even have to kill them.
No,
he just has to take them.
Go hide him in a tower in Dorne somewhere. Who gives a fuck?
Yep.
You know, but he's got nothing he can take them with. He really doesn't. There's
Renly's 100 men right now.
100 men, and somewhere in between King's Landing and Winterfell, as we hear at the beginning, is Tywin saying, "Jaime, take half my men, 30,000." That means Tywin's got 60,000 men. Yeah, okay, your 100 are going to do a lot. You know, no, they're just not.
It's true. I mean, essentially at that point, you would have to hope that Ned could rally the North, call in his banners, and do something like that to protect. And then,
how much time is that going to take? Tywin is already mobilized.
Yeah, he's ready.
It's true. It's true. So,
shame,
Ned. What was that, Katie? Finish the thought.
No, I lost the thought.
Okay, that's okay.
It was
so,
and then it rolled away.
So Ned goes in. We cut to another scene where Ned gives a letter, and this is an interesting part because I've been doing research for an upcoming video about some maybe possible mistakes on Game of Thrones. Some people call this moment a mistake that ultimately because this guy in the books gets killed, but in the show he does not get killed. He's actually able to deliver this letter to Stannis. I just want to make a point of that. So he gives a letter to send to Stannis to tell Stannis about all of this, to basically tell him that he's the rightful king and I'm going to support your claim to the throne. Don't give it to his steward, not his captain of the guard, not his wife, definitely not his fucking wife, only to Stannis himself. As Littlefinger enters. So my Lord Protector. I guess everybody knows Ned's Lord Protector. So my Lord
Everybody
Protector.
knows it, yep.
Yeah.
Smug motherfucking shit. My Lord Protector. The king has no true-born sons. Joffrey and Tommen are Jaime. Okay, so Ned just straight out tells Littlefinger this. He's just telling everybody now. He doesn't give a shit. He's telling everybody that they're bastards kids. But he won't take them out of the Red Keep. Even though they're bastards, they hold no claim to the throne. He won't, but he'll tell people, but he won't do any action to get them the hell out of there.
Crazy.
So, okay. So when the king dies, the throne passes, and Littlefinger asks, and he says, no, it'll pass into his brother. And this is where this is a big question. Will Ned Stark, does Littlefinger even for a moment think Ned will truly bend the knee to Joffrey? Is he really trying to helpfully advise Ned here in this moment to truly help in the way that Catelyn asked him to do? And you already answered this earlier in the episode, Joe, and and Katie, you just did as well. So I guess you guys think Littlefinger was gonna fuck him no matter what here.
Yep. Littlefinger said it earlier. That's what he was gonna do. That's his whole thing. He wants to just fuck them. He wants to fuck them all.
At his very core, he wants to punish the Starks.
Yep.
Above all else, I think.
He hates all of them.
Even Catelyn, whatever.
And he gets into all the powers yours. Release the imp, bow to Joffrey, and if he becomes a problem, we'll take him out of the throne and put Renly there or something. And Ned's like, you have no fucking honor, do you? Well, what am I doing? But I'm still gonna trust you. Mistake number 4. You call Littlefinger out on saying you have no fucking honor. You're listening to everything he's saying as Littlefinger goes, okay, you're not playing the game. What did you call me here for? And
then trust that he's going to listen to you.
And I love how Littlefinger is like just looking for any excuse to pretend like Ned Stark's being bad here, just so he can monologue. Because because Ned's basically asking him to pay the City Watch to make sure that they support Ned, and they're 2,000 strong, so the Queen can't overpower him. And Littlefinger's like, oh, okay. It's like the evil music kicks in again. So look at you. Aha, dun, 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 dun. You know what you want me to do. It has to be done, but you're so honorable it sticks in your throat. It's just such an interesting, like the way Littlefinger like tries to spin it, just so because the only way Littlefinger can do anything, it's like some guy that needs to pretend that, like, again, to do the Sopranos, like with Ralphie having Janice fuck him in the ass because that's the only way he can get hard. It's like the only way Littlefinger can get motivated to do anything is if it's a scheme of some sort. Oh, okay.
It's deliciously naughty.
So you want me to make sure the Gold Cloaks do their official job? I'll do that, Stark.
Yeah, what an idiot, Ned. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
You're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I think we missed a couple calls for everybody. If let me turn the volume back up to the ringer. Phone lines are officially open again if you want to call. So basically, Littlefinger more or less never officially agrees, but almost never says no to Ned. That's another thing I pointed out. Never actually says to Ned, I'm going to help you. He just says, who will all the Gold Cloaks, when the Queen proclaims one king and the Hand proclaims another, whose peace do the Gold Cloaks protect? And he points a dagger to himself, the man who pays them. He doesn't say he's going to help Ned. He never says it.
Does not.
Okay, we're going to get to my biggest gripe of the episode here. And my biggest gripe in general of Game of Thrones, as we go beyond the wall and we see them walking to the tree. Do you know what I heard? And I heard it. I rewinded it 4 fucking times, okay? So let's take our call here before I say what I was going to say. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How's it going?
Fine. I don't think Littlefinger would have turned on Ned if Ned had actually...
I agree with you. I personally agree with you.
It right. But I do think he would have turned on him later.
Yes.
I just think Littlefinger would have been holding the knife to Cersei's neck or whatever, or to Joffrey's or someone, if he'd actually played it right. But I think ultimately what he wanted was for them to take out each other so he could climb up higher.
Dude, I think you're right.
Like if Ned and Cersei kill each other at exactly the same moment, that would have been the best, well, including Joffrey, that would have been the best thing for them.
Dude, 100%.
Right.
I
He
couldn't
wanted Ned to play along so he could screw him later.
Yeah.
And since Ned wasn't going to do that, he found a better, quicker opportunity to do it. And so he seized that moment.
Yep.
He
So,
played the game very well.
let's get to my pissed off moment here, because I rewatched this episode. I checked the scene out a bunch of times. I rewound it. I did it 4 times.
What did you hear, Phil?
Did you hear it too?
I'm
Ghost
not sure.
barked. Ghost
Oh,
totally
yeah.
barked. He barked.
Huh?
So I guess Show Ghost isn't a mute. I guess that's official. Because he barked, it happened. They didn't take it out.
Did you see him bark or just
No,
hear
I
a bark?
heard you hear it as he's running out.
Okay, because there are dogs and
barked.
hounds too.
I hear you, but it was very obvious. It seemed like he barked.
Curious.
Okay.
I'll just have to watch it again, I guess.
Are you
Yes.
sure it
Oh.
wasn't? Are you sure it wasn't the bear farting or
Be me. I'm fully willing to accept I could be wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong 9 times out of 10. This one time, I think
Sam's
I'm right.
belly growling?
I heard a bark. I'm pretty sure I heard a fucking bark. I just want to point that out. I just want to point that out for whatever it's worth. It happened. I wrote specifically in my notes. I rewound this shit 4 fucking times, and he fucking barked. So I also want to read as they go out to the heart tree, a really fucking awesome looking heart tree, and I gotta say, Pete's live music says, "Go bark yourself." Well played by Ghost. Sam says, "Oh, puppy Ghost was so adorable."
Yes, so cute.
All the puppies were.
Oh.
It was great. 2 things that I was really happy to see in this episode that we don't see often in modern Game of Thrones is his heart trees and dire wolves.
Yes, yes.
Going back-
Heart trees are supposed to be rare nowadays too. They're just talked
I
about
know.
a lot in the books.
Add a fan who seems to be our pun expert tonight says tree bark.
And a lot of them have a lot of the castles and big keeps and all that have
Great one.
God's woods that actually lack a appropriate tree.
Yeah.
God's-
Right. I just wanted to put out that this going back and watching this, seeing this scene, I thought that was awesome. I thought the tree looked really cool. Seeing this scene with both the dire wolf and the tree was really cool. And let's read this because this might be important later. Hear my words, bear witness to my vow. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife. Wait a second, Phil. Wait. What was that part? I shall take no wife. No, what was that part before? It shall not end until my death. Okay, I just wanted to say that. I shall wear no crown, win no glory. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in darkness, the watch on the wall. I'm the shield against the guards of the realm of men. I pledge my life in honor to the Night's Watch for this night and all nights to come.
Well,
That's important too. That's important too. That's important.
Does it end at your death, or does it for all nights to come?
That's an interesting question, Joe. I don't know. I don't know, Joe. That's a good question, my friend.
And isn't death just the long night?
Yep.
They say. Isn't that
You
the
knelt as boys, now rise as men of the Night's Watch. Well done, as they all run. As good boy Ghost comes in, and Ghost brings them a nice little. He brings them a dead man's hand.
Dun 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 dun.
Pete's live music says on the set, the puppy's handler was known as the walker of the dog. Tim Gesh says yes. And Tim says yes, and they called it puppy love.
And
Welcome
they
back.
called it puppy love.
Sam and Jon Snow have never broken their vows because nowhere in the vows does it say Jon shall not bang a chick if he wants to. It just says
have
vows
no
to
kids.
no wife.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, Jon Snow never married the wildling, and Sam never married his wildling. So technically, neither one of them broke any vows by banging.
Jon did marry his wildling.
What's her name?
I think Ygritte and Gilly, and I think we might have a clause. We might have a clause. And
But Ygritte and Jon were married.
Did they file the appropriate papers with the local clerk?
Yes. They were wildling married. They claimed each other. It was done. It was a done thing.
Steel Saber says, guess John and Sam killed the boy and let the man be born. Pizza Music. I like Phil's interpretation than the one in the tunnel at the wall. Thank you. So yeah, Ghost comes to John and brings him a hand, a dead man's hand. He brings it here, and gods be good. Gods be good. So we go to Jorah and Danny asks what will be done to him. And Jorah says, when the Khalasar rise, he'll be leashed to a saddle, forced to run behind the horses for as long as he can. When he falls, Jorah says, I saw a man last 9 miles once. 9 miles? That's pretty good. And another call. We got another call here. Sorry about that. Welcome back, buddy.
They were not married. At least in the show, they had never married at any given point on the show. Them going into the cave and banging is not an act of marriage. They were not married whatsoever.
You can't have sex. But wait a second. You can't.
They are not married.
Buddy, you can't
have
sex with someone without. You can't do that.
Can.
I'm kidding. Of course you can. Good point, my friend. Good point.
Until you have sex.
I love how we came back with that. Yes, you can. That was awesome.
You can.
Yes, you can. Silly issues, guy. Yes, you can. Pete's Live Music. So I'm assuming a Ygritte Gilly three-way is out of the question. See your vows.
Oh.
Time your Game of Thrones. We need a Game of Thrones Jerry Springer episode, says that a fan. Steel says Sam is basically married. I was about to say that Steel Sabers actually. Like Sam might not be officially married on paper, but Sam's fucking married.
He's acting like a hubby.
He is. So Daenerys can't believe that King Robert still wants her dead. And Jorah says the poison was the first, but it won't be the last. Little does he know what's about to happen to Robert. I think he'd leave me alone now that my brother's gone. And Jorah says, no, he'll never leave you alone. He'll ride to the darkest depths of Asai and have his assassins will follow you there. If you sailed all the way to random places, spies will follow you there. You're a Targaryen, the last Targaryen. Your son will be a Targaryen blood with 40,000 riders behind him. You will not have my son, she says. You will not have you, Khaleesi. You will not have you either, Khaleesi. Which is a very classic line. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hey, Phil. This is 98 Champs. How you doing?
Welcome. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. I just wanted to say they actually did get married in the episode when Ygritte figures out that Jon is not who he is, and he's going to leave her. She tells him, you're not going to leave me. She goes, I am yours and you are mine. And he nods his head yes. They were with Tormund. And they were getting ready to do the climb. I think that's going to be in the next episode. The episode's called The Climb.
Awesome.
She goes, you're not going to leave me. You're not going to leave me.
Thank you so much for the fact checking.
Mine.
Thank you. Big hug. Go hug yourself in the good way.
I will.
Not in the bad way. Love you. Okay. Love you. Thank you.
Yep.
But that go hug yourself has so many meanings, Joe.
And that's what it was with the wildlings. It's there's no big ceremony or anything like that.
No, it's
you go up and you claim the person, and if they say okay, that's it. That's
well,
marriage.
I claim you too. We're married.
Oh, you guys are awesome. You're combining Game of Thrones with trashy Maury and Jerry Amazing. I just checked with Maury. Divorces are us. How about Maury? Jamie Lannister. Jamie Lannister.
Not the father.
Jamie Lannister. You are the father. So Drogo comes in and gets into his whole Drogo thing where he starts throwing and spitting and goes, you, Jorah Andal, I give you any horse. I give this gift to you. And to my son, the stallion that mounts the world, I give you this iron chair that your mother's father sat on. I give you 7 kingdoms. I, Drogo, do this. I'll go to the end of the world, cross the sea where no Khalasar has ever done before. I will kill men in iron suits as he spits in the guy's face right in that line. And then he keeps going, I'll do this, I'll do that. And everyone's supporting. And then he goes, I'll rape their women as the room falls silent. I thought that was kind of like the Pee Wee Herman moment where he's like, why don't we punch him? Why don't we kill him first? Why don't we rape their women? No, come on, Drogo. I was with you till that line. I understand it's accurate, but I was like, yeah, Drogo, yeah. And you see Danny's like so turned on. Danny's like, oh my god, he's gonna rape their women. She's so happy, like she's so fucking happy.
I think she just decided to disregard that line because the rest of it was pretty moving.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean,
she had selective hearing.
Tends to had extra like black makeup on and shit. They like
he said
sweated
they're
them
gonna
up.
rate. They're gonna rate their women, like a contest.
Yeah, like 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Rate. Yeah, he said rate.
Rape.
It was a bad translation. It was a bad translation. Yeah. So I vow this. I'll bring these broken gods down. I vow this. And I wrote in the notes, Danny's so turned on, I swear. And he goes, I swear
a lot of women were turned on by that scene.
All the Dothraki women.
Nobody heard a
lost
word
it.
that he said. They were all looking at his
And some of
glistening
them-
abs and pecs.
Oh yeah.
Those dark, sullen eyes.
Pete's Live Music is officially changing his name. The stallion that mounts the world. I want to change my. I want to change.
Stallion.
You beat me to it, Joe. I was going to say the same thing. This is why that is why we're friends. I was about to say the same exact thing. You mean the Italian stallion that mounts the world?
Stallone is mounting the world.
I
don't want my world mounted by that.
Katie Crow. I didn't.
Back, Crow. Take that back.
All crows are liars. Thank God. All crows are liars.
What? You guys said it.
Oh, hey.
I don't know.
I can actually play that on the trumpet. So I will rape their women. I vow, as he gives her my little moon and my sun and my stars.
Gumby is threatening to rape women.
Hey there,
let's go rape some women.
Hey there, Mr. Bill. So, and so then we cut quickly till we see the guy being dragged down, and we see some dick swinging in the mist of this guy who can show this clip of himself on Game of Thrones to his grandkids.
Yeah,
Look, grandkids, this is my cock swinging in the wind right on Game of Thrones.
As they're walking down I actually really liked that scene.
Me too.
I'm very happy there was full frontal male nudity.
Yeah.
I love that they have him walking naked,
Yeah.
chained behind the horses. I really like that.
And I'm not kidding in the sense that for like. And I'm not Katie could have given one. I'm not kidding in the fact that for an extra or for someone that didn't have a very big part to be able to have a moment like that, kind of like a very memorable moment. I feel happy for the actor that he got to kind of bear that.
It was ballsy.
Yeah, he really put it all out there in that performance. You know, he gave it his all. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave it his all.
You know.
Oh!
Addie's in that movie.
Yeah, it's all connected. Yeah, Baratheon is in that episode. It's all.
Wow.
Oh, Katie, you are very much a very, very.
You're a very lucky girl. You know that.
Yeah, you're a very lucky girl, Katie. Lucky girl. Joe, at least they'll say this.
This right, this one thing.
At least you did that one thing right. Dosh Colleen. So, so yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that information in the chat, you guys. I know off season is fun. I love that I get to the chat's moving quick, but not too quick, so I get to check out all of what you guys are reading. It's thank you guys so much, all of you that are joining us here tonight on this podcast as we work our Game of Thrones off season stuff to get us from now until the beginning of season 6. There'll be a lot more fun stuff coming up for Game of Thrones in the off season. And we've got I'm actually also started today, just to do a quick announcement about I started a Google Doc with a calendar that I'm going to start filling in on our show dates so that people can actually refer to it. And I'll link that on the channel, in the description of the channel, and on every video, so you guys can click on Google Docs and see what shows are coming up on what days, especially as we get into the fall and get on different shows on different days, and some of the different things we're going to be talking about there. And So we'll get we'll totally get, I want to get a schedule just so you guys will know more, be easier to be able to follow when we're doing our casts.
Organized is good. Plan your lives around us.
Yeah, exactly. Play.
Yeah, we're awesome.
It's more like the
more fun with you. So,
welcome back to the show, my friend. How's it going?
Hey, I just wanted to point out. Well, first, I don't count the vow that they made as a marriage vow. Second off, it's also superseded by the fact that Qhorin Halfdan ordered Jon Snow to get in with the wildlings, kill him so they would trust him, and do whatever it takes to get the information back to the Night's Watch. So if he did marry her, it's just fulfilling his orders of what Qhorin Halfdan ordered him to do.
Interesting.
And technically, not marrying her would have been going against the orders of Qhorin Halfdan.
So you say he was crossing his finger, had his balls crossed, basically.
No, it was like he was ordered to do it because that's what he had to do to maintain his number. So he's technically just following Qhorin Halfdan's orders at that point.
Interesting. Thank you,
yes,
buddy.
But his vows supersede that.
Only
and his
the
vows
Supreme
should have
Court
superseded
can make
those
a decision
orders.
like this.
Yeah.
What is marriage?
Marriage. It's what brings us here together. When I
All
officiated,
of atrocities in the world can fall down to the feet of men who are just following orders.
Dun dun. Wait. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
There it is.
Yeah, there it was. Sorry. Dun dun dun.
His ego about marriage was real. Try to tell a bitch she wasn't married. Try to tell her I wasn't married. We weren't married for the last however many years or months or weeks.
Arrow to the back of the head.
Yup.
Ada fan says Google dogs are awesome. I swear I heard Google dog bark. I probably said that. You guys are probably right. I probably did say Google dog. We're gonna get a Google dog. I'm gonna get a Google dog as well. And I strapped. All you guys gotta do is find my Google dog, and you can find out when we're going live. It's really easy. It's really easy. Check my Google dog out, and you will be fine.
I heard your Google dog bark.
Did you? I think I heard it too. Here's my Google dog barking. What's up, buddy?
Isn't part of the vow to actually follow the orders of the Lord Commander or the people in charge of the Night's Watch?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it down there. And I follow the Lord Commander's words.
There's something about obeying. Did you freeze? No. Okay.
Obey. I mean, I guess so. I guess in the sense that it's an interesting question. That did Jon actually break his vows by taking a vow with her, or was he doing fakesies like crossing his fingers and wasn't a real vow because he was really? I mean, I understand where the caller is coming from in the sense that he had taken a vow from the Night's Watch. He'd taken the vow from the Halfdan to infiltrate them and do this whole.
I have no
He's a
problem with what he
bigamist.
did. Yeah. Go Jon Snow.
Jon's a bigamist.
Jon's the man. Jon, you a bad mother grabber. Jon Snow. That Jon Snow. So here we go. Let's get to this last scene of the episode. Lord Stark gets stopped and he says, Ned, in the hallway, and all the swords get drawn. They're like, no, whatever. What's going on here? As the little messenger comes, he says, Lord Stark, King Joffrey and the Queen Regent request your presence in the throne room. And I got to admit, the very first time I ever saw this, I started kind of laughing at this point in time. Like, I was like, King Joffrey. And like when we walked into the room the first time, my very first time seeing Joffrey on the throne and Robert on the
throne, right.
I was like, is this real? Is this really happening? Is this kid really king? No.
He's not. He's not yet. He hasn't been coronated.
He hasn't been coronated. But you know what I mean. Seeing him on the throne is just kind of ridiculous. And King Robert's where's King Robert? King Robert's gone. And they stop, and Littlefinger's there. He says, all is accomplished. The city watch is yours. Good. And Ned goes, is Renly joining us? And Varys says, I fear Renly has left the city. Ned, you should leave the city right now, too. Get the fuck out of there, Ned. Get the fuck out of there.
Get your kids out of there.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So so
Ugh.
it's worth mentioning that Renly left with the Tyrells and some 50 retainers. Littlefinger eye fucks Ned here this whole time and kind of gives him a look, kind of wondering, I think as a sociological experiment, wondering if Ned's really gonna do what he thinks Ned's gonna do here. As we go up to excited to see this all go down. Totally excited. And we see douchebag number 1 here, Janos Slint, with fucking shit stain, whatever, Janos Slint. I hate him even more in the books. I hate him a lot here. And
his head.
Who gives no eye contact and says, "We'll stand behind you, Lord Stark." We go into the room. All hail. I made Ballmen cry into the turtle stew. Into
the turtle stew.
All hail, Lord. Speaking of cracking me, all hail Joffrey, House of Baratheon, Lannister, in the first of his name, King of the Andals, and the first man, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm.
Oh, Jesus.
Joffrey couldn't be the protector of his own balls. He could be the protector of the realm. So Ned steps up here, and Joffrey.
He's got that piece of paper.
Yeah, he says.
Protect him.
Joffrey first says, "I command the council. This is when I want you guys all to take their loyalties to me. Show me your loyalty." Ned ignores it and just talks to Barristan. "I believe no man could ever question your honor." Barristan says, "Oh, King Robert Seal, unbroken." And it says, "Lord Eddard Stark is here to be the protector of the realm." Blah 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 blah. Cersei wins this scene in a fucking moment where Cersei walks right up, grabs it, rips it up. Those were the king's words. Well, we have a new motherfucking king.
Yep.
And then she turns to Ned, and I legitimately think Cersei was giving Ned an out here. Again, you could disagree with me. I think she was legitimately being like, "Ned, you big dumb thing. I'm going to give you an out here."
No, she was going to take him no matter what.
If he had bowed, I'm sorry, I disagree with you so much. If he had bowed down to Joffrey, he was not being taken away in chains.
Okay, yes, you're right. You're right.
He would be allowed to
leave
quietly
behind the scenes.
No, he would have been allowed to leave and go north. Because to jump ahead a little bit, she knows she's an idiot, but she's not dumb enough. She knows if he gathered all the North together, she knows what is to happen later in this season, and it's not good for the Lannisters on paper here. Like that all she thinks, there are things that she's not a complete moron like Joffrey is. When it really comes down to it. She's egocentric, she's focused, but I think she would have let Ned leave here.
Yeah.
And I once bought a honeycomb at a jackass in a brothel. What happens next? Sam fucking cracking me up. Freaking sweet Robin. Damn, Cersei wasn't going to be a part of the system. She threw the paper on the ground. Yeah. Jack combs his ass with honey. Cersei wipes her ass with this. She just pulls out she just crouches over the letter and starts pissing on it. Yeah. Jackie Gleason spits on this shit. So, Lord Eddard, when we last spoke, you offered me some counsel. Allow me to return the courtesy. Bend the knee, my Lord Stark. Bend the knee and swear loyalty to my son, and we shall allow you to live your days out in that gray waste you call home. And Ned, mistake number 5 here, and the biggest one to me. Your son has no claim on the throne. Don't say that right here, right now. Now is not the time. Go to Stannis. Fucking fake it here. Bullshit your way. Kneel down to Joffrey. Say, "I respect Robert's true heir." Bow down so you don't recuse yourself. And walk the fuck out. Go to Dragonstone. Fucking talk to Stannis. You're done. Fucking done. Get the fuck out of there, Ned. What are you fucking thinking? Yeah. Do you really trust Littlefinger that much? So Cersei goes,
"You should never went in that room without absolutely knowing 100% that he had he should have went and just stole the boy out of this fucking crib and locked him away in his own chambers with a knife to his head or something. I don't know. He should have killed them all.
Claudia said this perfect. Ned was still on his fantasy ship, thinking good would win over evil. Steel Saber says, also, Cersei, I love her children. I think she was trying to do Ned a solid for trying to save her kids instead of just having them all slaughtered. I agree with that, too. I think at this point in time, Cersei is still, like, she she knows anything bad happened to Ned or his kids is a bad thing for her, a bad thing for the Lannister family. She's not that.
Every move she makes is calculating until later when she goes a little nuts. She's very calculating at this point.
Or exactly, she's not stupid. At this point, she's still the second smartest Lannister child, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, Jaime gets smarter, she gets dumber.
But okay, with that being said, it's not like a close first second. There's a
no, not even close. Not even close. So she says, you condemn yourself with your mouth, Lord Stark. Sir Barristan sees this traitor. As Barristan, being a good man, goes towards there, and Stark goes, he's a good man who's a loyal man, don't harm him. You think he stands alone, and as Joffrey immediately goes into this, kill them all, I command it. And Ned goes commander to Geno Slint, take the queen and her children into custody, escort them back to the royal apartments, and keep them under guard. Now you're going to do this? You didn't do this when Renly wanted you to do this. You're doing this fucking now, asshole? You're supposed to do this before when you could have
taken Renly. He should have played Renly. He should have taken Renly's 100 men. He needed those 100 men.
He needed those fucking 100 men. How's it going, buddy?
Cersei is always stupid. At the beginning of the story, she basically gives no kind of discipline to Joffrey and lets him run amok. And she has to see what kind of a dick he is and how much he really is going to allow her to have the power.
I agree with you.
She's still expected to have control over Joffrey, and he cut that off in a second by cutting off Ned Stark's head. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. Oh, sorry, I cut you off there by accident. Sorry about that. Hit the button. But I agree. He fucked up. But jump ahead. Sorry, guys. If you're listening to this, you're mostly sorry if anyone is just watching this for the first time. But yeah, he fucked up in that way, and she fucked up from the very start. Not reining a chain in on him, and ultimately, to jump ahead a little bit, Tyrion calls her out on that later. Tyrion totally calls her out there later. Yeah. The mother of madness beats the master of ships. So I want no bloodshed, Ned says, and Cersei just smiles this whole time. She looks at bloodshed. And they kill what's left of his men, and Littlefinger gets a knife to his throat while Ned is just dumbheartedly going, And just to go, because we've already said it, this is the moment that Ned Stark truly dies, right here. And he's just, bam.
Bye-bye, Ned.
Bye, Ned. Bye, Ned. We'll hope that Joffrey doesn't do anything stupid like our caller suggested that he might do, like cut off his head. But that is our end of our episode. And what a great episode. I think this is the episode of Game of Thrones where you start to realize that as good as the other episodes were leading up to this, and there was a lot of awesome stuff, this is the episode where you realize you're watching a different kind of show.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not all fairy tale, good's gonna win out in the end, because with this show, that's just not how it works.
Yep.
And that was Ned's big bad lesson he learned.
Absolutely.
Good, honorable men don't win out in the end.
Yep. And I
Father
guess...
Brother didn't.
Nope.
His sister didn't.
Fatal flaw.
Those poor-ass bastards.
Yep.
He expects...
Those poor-ass bastard Starks. So I guess this is a good place to cut off, guys. To thank you all so much for joining us on this adventure. Sam says, "Are the master of coin because you're stuck sailing to the other side of the world with Meryn fucking Trent?" I'm sorry, but Ned was dumb through all of this. Says Rachel. Claudia says, "You realize good people can get effed." Cersei fucking up by showing fucking Jaime on their property. Says Kaylon. I agree that was a big fucking mistake.
Yeah, she's made a lot of mistakes.
He couldn't have kept in his pants for a day. See, I told you Littlefinger was sketchy. Yeah, you were right. I was kind of trusting this Littlefinger, and it was a mistake by me to think that Littlefinger could possibly be trustworthy.
Well, Cersei had to fuck Jaime in Winterfell. She had to. She absolutely had to.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where he's going there, not just to get Ned, but to go see his sister's grave.
Yeah. I agree with Joe in a sense that. In a sense that whenever I go to a restaurant, no matter what, being in the restaurant, I have to piss in the toilet. And Cersei needed to piss on Lyanna's grave a little bit.
this.
By fucking her brother in her home. I think that was Cersei's way of pissing on the pissing in the bed.
It's an interesting window into your psyche, Phil.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think that's further than anyone else wanted to go. So on that note, guys, I'd like to thank everybody. Thank SM Down for calling in. Thanks Kaylana, Ada Fan for joining us. Sam, a couple of other people that are a lot of Ren Renwood.
Claudia.
Welcome, Ren Renwood. Love you. Claudia, Steel Sabas, Pete, all of our friends. I do want to make a couple of announcements. We will be continuing doing these as much as we can over the weekends in July. Also, there'll be some special things coming out on the Issues program pretty soon that I don't want to give too much information about, but there's a couple of really interesting things coming out. And also, Joe and I were talking, and I've been talking about a couple people. There may be a name change going on. I'll always keep Phil the Issues guy. I am Phil the Issues guy. But I've been thinking more and more that what we do on the channel isn't so much. I mean, we don't talk about my life. I don't tell you about like sitting on the toilet. I mean, I did tell you about peeing. But we've got a name that we want to change it to that's more descriptive of the channel. But if everybody doesn't think that's a good idea and everyone likes the name of the channel, wants to keep it the same,
You might have to go hug yourself.
Yeah, you might. No. I'm saying like I'm still on the fence of it. I'm curious what a lot of people think. Our name that we might be going with the change is called Recap This, Review That would be our name. So between that and just calling ourselves Phil the Issues Guy, I think, I mean, we do so much more with you guys in the chat is so much a part of the show, and Joe and Kate and some of our other friends that are going to be doing them podcasts and some crossovers that we're going to be doing with some other channels coming up. I just want to more describe what we do. So I'm curious of some of your perspectives. So if you guys have made it this far in the podcast, you guys have check us out and you're really important to us as listeners. What do you guys think of that name? What do you guys think about the idea of a name change? And just curious what all you guys happen to think about that. So anyways, have a great evening. Have a great day. And we will be back very soon for the next episode of Game of Thrones. I might be disappearing a little bit for the very beginning of August. I have to go in for some doctor stuff. I'm finally getting my nose taken care of. I'm getting like a nose. Yeah, but I finally have some. I have to go in and get some surgery done, and it's nothing.
He's getting his Adam's apple shaved.
Yeah, I'm good. Nothing to worry about. I'm going to be all right, but I do need to recover for a couple of weeks at the beginning of August. So I may disappear a little bit at the beginning of August, but I'm trying to pre-record some videos to set them up for schedules. So everybody, and who knows how long it's going to take me to recover and how easily I'll be able to podcast from bed in the midst of the recovery. So be prepared for all of that, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be fine. It's no big deal, nothing to worry about. But it does have to happen. So I have some surgery on August 3rd. So everyone keep your best smiles or your best go fuck yourselves. I mean, go hug yourselves on that. So again, everyone, have a good week. We will talk to you guys very soon with some more fun.
Peace.
Love ya.